Right, Sean, we're live. You'll have to entertain everyone who turns up, if anyone does.
I was just intrigued by the ovens plural thing.
Right, evening, everybody. Welcome to the drink along. Yep, we're on. We're live. Mitch is here, Sean's here, and I've just got to get something out of the oven and get my beer. So bear with. Sean and Mitch can have an argument about Gary Medine while I'm away. He's not even on the lineup, or he's only on the bench.
Just saving him, aren't we?
Yeah. Saving the genius.
Exactly. Memories of Reading away, Mitch. I'm sure there's so many fond ones to think of.
Well, I've never been to Reading, so I have none to think of. So I've literally never been to Reading. I've literally never even been to the place Reading. I was trying to think, have I ever actually been to Reading? And I believe the only time I have ever been in Reading was when I was on a train once that was diverted. And it stopped. You know, those like lines in the middle of a station that haven't even got a platform next to it. It stopped on one of those lines for about 10 minutes and looked out the window and went, so this is Reading. And then it started off again and off we went. So that's literally my only memory. But I can barely even, they just don't stick in my mind. They're like, I don't really have any. I'm sure there are some people. I don't think there's anybody actually even watching now, but I'm sure there will be some people who'll go, oh, you've forgotten the Reading game in 2009 or something. But I can't even really remember any Reading games beyond the cup game under Larry.
I was going to say, I was thinking of, oh, well, to be fair, my abiding memories, that was peak Armand Nangelay Reading away. That was that's always going to be my thing. Yeah. I adore him. Still adore him for doing that Panenka penalty. I adore him for it.
Of course.
It's just
but it's the Larry Nobed video as well, isn't it? That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. And I didn't go to the away game, but I went to the replay at home. And one of my favourite memories was because obviously Charlie came on for about the last 2 minutes or something.
Of course, yeah.
And the whole, the whole North's giving it everything for Charlie. And then when the final whistle goes, the whole ground goes up in applause of Charlie Adam because it's, maybe the last time we'll ever see him and all of that. And I just remember Callum Guy thinking the applause was for him and looking really happy and just sort of clapping back and then turning around and realising Charlie Adam was behind him. And then his kind of whole body language just go, oh, it's for him.
I'm trying to think, wasn't that, we signed Teddy Howe on the back of those games, didn't we?
We did, yeah. He was brilliant. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant because, again, I didn't see the away game. I saw the home game, and he was absolutely brilliant. He was one of those away players or those opposition players where people in the stands around you are going, he's good, that lad, isn't he? Look at him. He's fast. Oh, I wish we had a lad like him.
He's been so poor since he signed.
Well, I don't know if he has been so poor. I mean, I think he had a dreadful pre-season, but then in the actual competitive, when I say games, I mean the actual competitive game he played. Because I'm going through doing the book. I'm reading back through everything, like every game from last season, and what did it say about the players and what were the highlights and stuff. And he only appears twice. But on both times, I've gone, actually, Teddy Howe's not bad. He's played quite well. He had a decent game. So,
did he play against Leeds under 23s?
He came on as a sub against Leeds under 23s, I think. And he started Barrow in the Tin Pot Cup. And he was brilliant against Barrow in the Cup. And he was quite good when he came against Leeds. And then that was it. He was never seen again. That was the end of his Blackpool career. And I don't think he's ever even made the bench.
I was thinking, where is he now? Is he still with us?
He's still with us as far as I know, because he went to Scunny, didn't he? And he'd hardly played for them.
It's a shame.
He hardly played for them, and they didn't. Say what?
It's a shame when players kind of just wilt away into this kind of nothingness land.
Yeah, and it's just. But I discovered that he is the son of a director at Reading, which maybe is one of those things where I wonder whether he's ended up in their system because of who he knows, not how good he is, if that makes sense. Yeah. So he's, whether that's a bit of nepotism going on. I don't know, but it is a shame when players drift away like that, because you kind of it's weird as well, because sometimes you get players who are quite good, and then you see that they're like 26 and playing for Nuneaton Borough or something. You kind of think, how did that happen? But
talking of players that kind of, how did that happen? Reading have got Alan Halilovic, haven't they, who played for Dinamo Zagreb when he was about 17, and then he moved to Barcelona.
Right.
And he was like the next thing. He was like really highly rated for a long time, and it just hasn't worked. I think he went on loan somewhere in Spain, at like Girona or something. It didn't work, and then now he's at Reading. He seemed to have started quite well. So there's another player that's like, I can't believe he's playing the Championship, to be honest, because at one point he was like the highly rated prospect under 21 in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, his name's gone. The boy we had in Holloway's team that was
Freddie Adu.
No, the other lad. No. Freddie Adu's like the classic one, isn't he? But the boy, he was like a number 10, and he played like once for us or something, or twice for us, and he was crap.
Gerardo Bruna.
Yeah, exactly him. Yeah. He's been at Liverpool, hadn't he? And and Barcelona, I think, before Liverpool. And you just have these hopes that they're going to be. It's like that they're going to somehow, the fall is going to be somehow arrested, and there's going to be this, whatever genius it was that marked them out at 14 or something, is suddenly going to re-emerge.
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's out of the squad today for Reading, Alan Halilovic. So they've got the main guy is John Swift. He's a phenomenal player. Like 8 goals, 5 assists this season already. He is the main man. He'll be in the Premier League probably in January, if not in the summer. So they've got a lot of players that Danny Drinkwater as well, Scott Dan. There's players that people know. Baba Rahman as well, at left back, played for Chelsea for a while, and he kind of went round the loan system at Chelsea like you do, and he's ended up there. And Puskas' son plays for Reading as well, up top as well.
The actual Puskas?
Yeah.
Serious?
It can't be his son. I mean, are you sure it's not grandson? Because Puskas was like
maybe grandson,
wasn't it?
Yeah, grandson, maybe.
That's mental.
But he's definitely a relation of George Puskas. Yeah.
Wow.
Still pretty impressive, though, isn't it?
That is good.
So he's starting tonight. Obi Ajaria, another young player he's like really highly rated. He went to Rangers, it didn't really work, but he's come back to England and last season he was a really good player. He's been out injured for a while, but he's back in the squad. They've got a lot of players that I would be wary of. And there's to be honest, on either team, there's just quite exciting attacking midfield players. Just nice little classy players.
I really like this midfield. I really do. And I think it's if we don't play football tonight, if we don't sort of ping it around and really pass and move and make sort of triangles and angles, and we're not going to with any midfield that we put out, because the technical ability and sort of you put, I can't remember, you put in the patrons chat or in like our presenter chat, you put something about what we've really missed is midfield runners. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. And really, if you look at it, there's probably 3 midfield runners in that lineup there. You know, Demi's, they've all got good short games, but they all move very intelligently as well. It's what's really impressed me about Carey when I've seen him, in the little I've seen of him, is he moves in a way that's more mature than his years. He doesn't always get it right when the ball comes to him, but his movement is excellent. He's very aware. I think that's what Critch probably saw in him, is the way he finds space. Demi's he's just never stands still. And obviously Keshi moves really well as well. So if we don't have that movement in midfield tonight, we're not going to with any midfield we could possibly put out.
Got a full complement.
It'll be interesting as well to see how much defensive effort Sonny Carey puts in as well, because how much he's needed that on that side of the game, because that's not really something that he's specifically shown, I guess, in games. But I think for spells of this game in particular, I think he'll have to put in a shift defensively as well. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch out for as well.
The only thing I'd say with that is when I went, you were there as well, because I remember laughing that they were piping you in at Southport and you were playing bagpipe music. And if you remember, he actually started quite a lot deeper against Southport. I know it's only pre-season, but he kind of played the Grant Ward role. And I was surprised actually from what I'd read about him being this exciting attacking midfielders. He actually had a decent tackle on him, and he seemed to be not averse to kind of shadowing people and so on. So yeah, but yeah, no, I agree. It'll be interesting to see if they've just let the shackles off Sonny and go and do what you want. That'll be.
John, did I get it wrong? I thought it was an eat-along tonight.
I've got to have my tea yet, still in the oven. So I'll be doing an eat-along.
Is it not an eat-along? I thought everybody was bringing it was like a little bit like Celebrity Chef or something.
Well, I'll be joining you in a minute, Tim, with a cottage pie from Booths, from the deli counter behind Booths.
I'm on Japanese, so I've trumped you.
How, Tim? How, Tim?
Is he eating it with a fork, though?
Unfortunately, yes, I am eating it with a fork. That's the Lancastrian in me.
Connor, how are you doing?
I'm going well, thank you. Working a bit too my liking.
You look like you're intensely studying something. I thought you'd frozen for a minute.
I'm trying to figure out how I get access to the match on Now TV and failing miserably.
Right, okay.
I hope you've got some scripture ready for us at certain points of the game.
I'll do my best. My footballer's guide to theology was, running a little bit late from Amazon, but we'll see how it goes.
Connor, I think you can be the Aled Jones figure for the Insiders podcast.
It'll be my pleasure.
Matt Scrafton said that the Reading fans are chanting, "We pay your benefits" to our fans. So if anyone wants to free reign, slag a bit of Reading right now for the next 5 minutes, then feel free.
It's such an indistinct place that you can't even think of anything to slag it off with, can you? It's just, apart from MK Dons, there isn't a place or team in the world that excites me less.
Tim, you're getting a lot of background noise, Tim. Your mic's plugged in.
I'll double check. Okay. I did check before I came on.
You can hear a lot of clonking.
People putting the kitchen stuff away before the game starts. So, unfortunately, they're the trials and tribulations of a drink along. That's anyone who's going from work.
Okay, welcome everybody in the stream anyway. Max just asking you, Mitch, how is Mitch going to write his blog if he is on here?
Oh, I don't do him if I don't go. In post-COVID, if I don't go, there's no blog. So it's a night off.
There you go. Welcome back, LR1243, our only Twitch subscriber. Hey, Mark, you can't tell Bachelor Super Noodles, Tim. Oh, ironically, me and Sean were talking about how I eat. I've just got a taste now for Super Noodles again, but I put a bit of salmon in and roasted pepper chopped up. Chris Harrison, Dugdale's Dead Coventry, singing "Is This a Library?" What does that mean? Dugdale's Dead Coventry, Chris?
It's quiet. Deepdale, it's so quiet. The Coventry fans are singing "Is This a Library?" at the Preston fans. Oh, John's gone.
He couldn't hack it. His beloved Preston have been in shame. Our fans sound quite loud, to be honest, listening to this, as ever. I mean, it looks a bit soulless there, to be honest, so not really much of an effort to do that.
Oh, shot of Mike Garrity.
I've lost the team lineup, bollocks.
Oh, I'll mute the podcast chat.
God,
no, Chris, actually. I've just upgraded to Sky. That was a user error. Reading ground looks half empty. Reading, the worst. It's one of the worst away games ever, isn't it? There's no atmosphere in the middle of nowhere. It's like, for me, it's like anyone who's worked in IT. It was like going to work for a day. It's like in the middle of a sort of an office industrial park, not an industrial park, an office park. Right, we're starting.
It's the same players coming out now. I don't know if it's the same for everyone else.
Yeah.
Can we have some commentary again, like the very entertaining, and we will know what's happening.
Don't ask me to commentate. I can hardly say 10 words without coughing.
You're the only one that knows who the other players are, though. So.
Well, yeah. Well, how about with
part of the fun, though?
Whenever Reading have got the ball, Sean can do the comms. Whenever we'll switch over and then rotate between us.
They've not even come out on the pitch for me yet, so I'm going to be way behind.
Consider it revision, Sean.
They're not even out on the pitch, Tim. What? What are you watching on?
Are you on the Skybox?
I'm on a Fire Stick.
Nah.
I'm getting the team lineups on the pitch now on the screen.
So.
We've got Danny Drinkwater.
Yeah, Connor, thoughts on Reading?
I mean, Danny Drinkwater's probably the only noticeable thing about this team. It's, last-ditch loan from Chelsea. Maybe he got him as a free agent because they're under transfer embargo. And they've got now else ways to improve the squad.
They were at one point spending something like 200% of their income on wages. They were spending an insane amount, weren't they? Like a year or so ago.
I'm pretty sure they're one of the teams that have sold their stadium to their owner to bring funds in to
the Car Leasing Stadium or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I really hate branded stadiums. I'm like it's probably one of my biggest pet peeves in football. You've got all these wonderful, iconic buildings, with John's Shed R Us plastered along the side of it. It's disgusting.
I would say agree, but also Livingston's is called the Tony Macaroni Stadium, and without that, we wouldn't have that. So, really, realistically, kind of pro that now.
I was really excited last time I went to Scotland. I actually went past a Tony Macaroni place that does in the Tony Macaroni.
Right, where are we, gents?
We've just kicked off. Reading have just booted it over the halfway line. What
are you watching on, Mitch?
Tangerine TV.
No, I'm watching Tangerine TV as well.
Yeah, just refresh, man, to get back up to Mitch's speed.
When you get to a minute, pause.
Watch it go in.
Well, Mitch, when you get to a minute, because you're ahead, aren't you? I'm 22.
30 for me.
I've not started yet. But listen, don't worry about me. I'll just follow along and just come out with some inane comments like I normally do.
Last time it's kind of
if you lot jump up and go fucking yes, I'm going to miss the goal, aren't I?
Right, Mitch, what you on? Time check.
54, I'm on 55, 6.
Right, pause
4
seconds.
Paused 1 minute.
Right.
On pause. Yeah.
Oh, I've gone back now in time.
I went back. I'm on 57 now.
Now I'm on 1 minute again.
Yeah, that's Tangerine TV. I think it just stuttered for a second then. I'm on 1 minute 10.
And now I'm behind you.
7.
That was
10, 11, 12.
I'm on 20.
2-3 seconds. So,
right, when we get to 30, I'll pause. What are you on, Sean?
I'm on 24, 25, 26.
30, pause.
I've just started.
I'm on 20. Mine. I paused mine and it went back 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me.
What are we all on now? Let's have a check-in.
Okay. Go around the room. Sean.
1 minute 49.
1 minute 44.
1 minute 50.
1 minute 53.
30 seconds.
5 seconds. 2 minutes.
Their goalkeeper looks really short. Tactical advantage us.
Yeah.
Predictions for the game tonight, Sam. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Blackpool. I fancy us.
I fancy us as well. I think it depends how we control midfield, but I think I'll go 2-1 as well.
As I said before in the chat, we haven't won at Reading since 1980. So it probably is slightly overdue, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to say 3-0 because their goalkeeper is short, and that is not a good thing for goalkeepers to be.
Well, I'm also going to go for 3-0 because I said it in the pod on Sunday, and also I predicted that he would make changes, and he has made changes. So I'm going to go for it.
No, go on. He's off. He's off. Oh.
He does look tiny, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Well, I'll go put these in the banner.
He looks
Mitch,
like.
what was your prediction? Mitch, what was your prediction again?
3-0, same as Connor.
0-3.
To us, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Connor was 0-3 as well.
Yeah.
What were you, Tim?
I'm going 2-0 Reading.
He's probably right.
They are the form side in the division, aren't they? Pretty
He's
much.
going to be right. Sean, what were you?
2-1 us.
Right. It's in the ticker.
Nice positive start. Got hold of the ball. Composed. Compared to the weekend start.
I've remembered another thing about Reading. You know, in the chat we were talking about kind of how they don't really have any famous players and they don't really exist and you can't really remember them. It's the keeper that set me off. Do you remember they had a Bulgarian keeper who played in the World Cup? It's probably more for John and Tim. Who played in the World Cup in I think 1994, and he was completely bald and he had a really bad wig.
I could vaguely remember it, yeah.
And it was clearly a wig. It wasn't hair surgery. It was clearly a wig.
Who remember? Didn't they have a bald centre forward, Bulgaria as well?
Well, they had Stoichkov was their most famous forward. Hristo Stoichkov. I can't remember if he was bald. And they had Ivanov. He was massive. He was their left back, and he was built like a tank.
I do really rate Grimshaw's distribution. Like his long balls are always exactly where they need to be.
How I know it got mentioned before. How loud are the Blackpool fans, by the way, compared with the home? I don't think there's many of them there, but every credit to the ones that are. They're putting a bit of a shift.
There's a lot of late travel. I think a lot of people have just late darted down today, from what I've seen anyway.
Why is my stream paused?
Playing very well here.
Go on, Jordan.
Oh. Just don't give it Jari a talent ball. Superb.
That's why.
It's freezing.
Thank God you
what
changed
time,
your internet.
time we all on?
5:40.
5:42. Ooh.
So out to our corner.
Refresh this.
He's not giving it a goal kick, has he?
No, I think he was appealing for handball, wasn't he?
Ah, right.
Oh, it looks like it.
It's outside the box, though.
Yeah.
Kind of turned his body away, hasn't he?
Who's on the corners with that Garbo? Mitchell.
Short
Mitchell.
corner. Nice little routine. Look at us balling here. Who do we think we are, eh? We're really giving them no time on the ball at all. It's brilliant.
KFC File. I do love that name. Lee Good saying 1-1. Joe's saying 1-1. Artash is saying 2-0 Reading. Artash is a Reading fan. We've just been to Waitrose for your tea, Reading, Artash. 1-1. What the fuck?
I was waiting for you to pull it off.
Tim, have you read that?
Look, there is room for one prophet on this pod, and it's me, okay?
Wow.
It's going to be a god off in a minute.
Yates looks so much more sharp than since he's got his goal. It's ridiculous how just he just clicks like that when he gets his goal. Looks well on it today.
Are we all on 7:34, Emma?
Yep, same.
Yeah.
Currently looking at Sonia Carey's challenged hairstyle.
What do we think of Bowler's haircut? It's like a raver from the late 90s.
He's always adjusting it as well.
In spiral carpets to me. Looks a bit like he should be playing keyboards for a Manchester band in about 1991.
Yeah. He's born in the wrong era.
I don't know what it is. This is giving me Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 cup replay vibes. And we just seem to be well over them here. Tim, I think you muted.
Last time we were this confident, we played Hull and didn't win the game.
I know. Got one of them screenshots of us all head in hands again.
Go on, Jerry.
Oh, brilliant play.
Oh, unlucky.
I don't think they've been in our half yet.
This is from Little Artash.
It was pouring down.
That's right, Scott. Don't listen to Tim.
He's called being a seasoned Blackpool fan. The ultimate pessimist.
Yeah, Bowler's head is low.
Yes.
What we want to know is, has anybody in the chat actually been to Elm Park and seen that win in 1980? Is there anybody older?
Never been. I never went to Elm Park.
I did. I think we lost the time I went as well.
Mitch, you look like you're drinking from a bottle of champagne.
No, it's Boland Pilsner.
Big gangster.
Yeah.
Jaria giving it roulette wheels now already.
When did Danny
It's a magnum of it, though, isn't it, Mitch?
Was this summer, John?
It's very good value. 2 bottles for £4 in Spa. It's good stuff.
Danny Drinkwater was knocking on the door of the England team. Doesn't seem like that long ago, does it? Oh, didn't he go to a main tournament in play?
Did he go with on Hodgson's last one?
Yeah, he did. And then
it just seems like the kind of player Hodgson would pick as well for England.
I think but eventually everyone decided he was just a shit James Milner and moved on.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, fucking hell.
Fuck off.
No, I'm just going to be quiet.
What the fuck was that?
Oh.
I blame Tim.
The local use there.
That has got to be one of the softest goals we've conceded all season.
Do you know who I blame there? Tyrese John Jules. Disgrace.
By the way, the set piece as well.
Come off Epiteta.
Free header.
Yeah, it's the lad with Epiteta, isn't it?
Poor that.
Is it Epiteta's not even challenged? He's not even challenged.
You wonder how much they get organised normally with Maxwell. Critch isn't happy.
No, not all. It's Scott Dann that scored.
Scott Dann.
Critch looked pretty psycho then, didn't he?
I mean,
oh, fuck me.
I'm surprised at how basic that was. I know we've had our problems with set pieces, but I've not seen us be so naive at a set piece and like that.
It's like that just looked like they got confused. It looked like they didn't really know who was supposed to be picking up.
Gabriel was kind of flailing a bit as well, like he just kind of went for a header and was nowhere near as well.
See, when
was that
when
their first shot as well?
Yeah, it's that their first shot. When Tim said his comment about a seasoned Blackpool fan, I was going to say you kind of know that you've watched Blackpool enough when the fact that we've started well makes you a bit nervous, you know, and then they'd scored.
The next 5 minutes, isn't it? Is how if we get back into the same group that we were, I think we'll inevitably have a chance where we're going to get back into the game, aren't we? But let's see.
Can I just ask people in the chat to not put the score up if a goal goes in before we've reacted to it? Because we saw that before. We're all on streams, so please don't do that.
Is there any intel on Sterling as to what's that? Because it was just a bit of a random. I must have not kept been a bit busy at work. So
he was ill, wasn't he? So I should think he'll be fine for Saturday.
Yeah.
Just seemed like general illness as far as he said.
There's all a load of virus. I got floored a couple of weeks ago. I think because everybody's been keeping the social distancing. Now they're not. Everybody's picking bugs up off of people, aren't they? The bloody horrible.
I've had something.
I just got to shake this cough. I've had it for a couple of weeks now.
Yes, you're right, Stephen.
I'll just keep it the same, and it never happened. They're kind of penning in a bit deeper now.
It's a bit sad when you've gone 1-0 up in 15 minutes and you're already kind of dropping back and trying to protect it.
Trying to stop spacing for Carey and Keshi, aren't they? Kind of in between the lines.
They're just trying to stop them finding those pockets of space.
Pockets of space, exactly.
Go on. Oh!
There's James' husband in a pocket of space.
I've got to get the glossary up. Oh, in fact, Connor, we forgot the bingo.
That's right. I doubt we're going to see any Critchley fist pump soon. We'll save it for the next one.
We'll just get these the scoreboard done.
Did you have a shit goal against the run of play on your bingo card?
I did consider putting set piece goal conceded on there, but felt it would be like too pessimistic. Oh well. You can't be letting a 4-foot goalkeeper claim that so easily.
Fucking hate Reading.
Carey's sitting high off the ball, isn't he? Very high. He's almost like a second striker when we're out of possession.
It was 5 minutes ago that I was sort of chirpily thinking about Reading goalkeepers with wigs on, and now I'm just fuming.
Carey's played some nice 1-2s so far. Looks very lively.
That was a lovely touch.
That's beautiful.
Go on.
Penalty.
Carey's got that slightly...
Go on, Cherry.
He's got a vibe that we've not really had since last year with Embleton, with that just sort of that player that buzzes around and links it up. I like what I've seen so far.
Embleton got sent off at the weekend, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Naughty boy. Time check, gents.
I forgot to put my fixed odd predictions up for the guys, so you could all have
a time check, gents.
16:38.
16:30.
6, same as Connor.
Right, I'll pause.
Connor, go again.
16:36.
Right, I'm on 45. I'll pause.
Same. I'm the same as John. So
Oh, why is he getting free?
Oh, unlucky.
What are we on now, Connor?
1650.
Yeah.
So 51, yeah, I'm pretty much there. Yeah.
Who's their manager?
Paunovic.
Who?
Pound a bitch.
Where was he? I'm pretty sure, was he in Portugal, maybe? Sure. Velshko, Paunovic.
Did you see that Wayne Rooney was apparently one of the people favoured to take the Newcastle job if Steve Bruce gets sacked?
Oh my God.
Bruce is gone.
He's from Chicago Fire. Paunovic, 4 years of Chicago Fire, which is a bit random.
Pound a bitch.
It looks like it'll be Fonseca, isn't it? He's the one that's been the local reporters are saying for Newcastle. I think.
Daniel Fonseca?
Paolo, the one that turned down Tottenham, amongst about 15 other managers.
He does press conferences in a Zorro mask.
Well, there you go. That's all we need.
What? What do you mean?
Paolo, but he's turned up to a couple of press conferences in the past wearing a full Zorro outfit.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Those of a certain vintage will remember the old Zorro in black and white that used to be on the Saturday morning. Mitch might be with me on that one.
Are we all on the corner?
Not quite that vintage, Tim.
Bob Poole.
Come on.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Hell.
Oh, that's
How have we not scored there?
Got a lift that.
Yes,
Oh, this is where it gets frustrating when we miss these sorts of opportunities.
should have scored, Johnny.
Good effort from Gabriel off the bounce.
It was.
Good reaction from Yates. You just want him to lift it a bit.
Beautiful diagonal.
We do link up better, I think, when we only play the one striker in like a 4-2-3-1, just in and around the box. We look like we're more likely to break teams down when we play this way.
Completely.
What formation would you say this is, Sean, that we're playing?
4-2-3-1, really. But at times it'll probably revert to a 4-3-3. Just kind of manage the game, don't you? But when you look at Forest and how passive we were for a long spell of that game, I think when you've got Keshi back in particular as well, we just look a lot more creative in and around the box, which is helpful when they're trying to play two tight defensive lines.
We've probably already created more sustained pressure than we did in the whole Forest game.
Definitely.
It's and for a player that's, his reputation is he's hopeless going forward. I always think Husband actually gets involved well. I think he's got I think what he does is he does simple things well. He's sort of short passing is very good. His longer passing, his longer passing, his crossing is not as good as Garbutt, but his short play is nice.
They've just been re-showing the replay of the Yates missed chance, and Ekpiteta is literally on the other side of the box, completely free.
What are we doing, man? Fuck me. Ekpiteta's on a stinker.
Fuck me.
Well, he's just been denied a goal by Jerry.
Fucking joking me. How is this 2-0?
That's your difference. That's your difference, isn't it?
What a fuck up.
It's just naive. That's very naive. Good press.
Well, viewers.
Daniel, I don't know if Grimshaw should be playing that pass when he can see that Ajari is already running at him.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you're right. He's got his back to the player that's pressing him. It's kind of on a hard into nothing, but at the same time, he's tried to play it inside. He's come back inside into our own danger area at that point, which is just a wrong decision.
That's two goals. That's 2 goals Ekpiteta has cost us this season by doing that.
It's almost exactly the same as the Huddersfield one.
Huddersfield game, yeah, exactly the same. What is he? It's all very well. Let's keep the ball and pass, but you get to absolute basics, don't you? When you're junior football, you don't bring it into your own box. Don't play the ball across your own box.
It's a poor first touch as well. I think if he takes a better first touch, he's tried to take it inside to then clear it with his left foot, but because the touch is heavy, he's then having to fight for a tackle with the second man. This is pissing me off because we've been so good.
It's because we didn't have Gary Medine as an option to collect it up long.
There we go.
Yeah, Connor. I was just literally about to say that in jest. And,
sounds like Connor's been converted.
Yeah.
I've realised I'm outnumbered. If you can't beat them, join them.
See, I was going to say in a sweepstake, how long, if we carry on playing well, how long is it before Sean says, well, you see, this is because we've not got Medine up front. Slowing the play down.
That'll never happen.
I kind of tried to imply it without specifically saying it. To be fair, it wouldn't matter if Medine was playing or not. Like I say, it's 43-1, even if it's Medine. But...
Yeah, but Equitesha would have gone long because he could have played a long ball and it would have stuck.
No, he just took a poor touch. He was going to punt it anyway.
Equitesha's kind of at fault for both then because he didn't put a challenge in for the first one. Lost his man.
The first one around with it.
It was because it looked like Gabriel went to challenge for the same header and he was miles off it. It's like Equitesha was kind of turned as if he was telling Gabriel to get a man, or we were a man spare, and they were going to shift about. And Reading took the free kick quicker than they thought, and it's kind of disjointed us. But obviously,
can I now turn into a slightly more positive contributor rather than negative? I actually don't think we're out of this game yet.
No.
Even though my pre-match prediction has already proved rather prophetic.
Well, as long as we don't make any more mistakes.
And Tim, and the rest of ours are rather pathetic. See what I did there?
He did. It was very alliteration, is it?
I don't know. I think Grimshaw's partly to blame for that second goal, personally.
Yeah,
I'd say, yeah.
His distribution's rubbish. I've always said that.
Well, I think the thing with Grimshaw is he just doesn't get. I don't think his distribution is quite as good as Maxwell's, and I don't think he gets the distance on it. That's where we're missing out.
I miss Tom Aldred.
Hell.
He just looked like an hard man defender. Like you felt like 75% of Blackpool A&E was because of him.
When
now it's Medine. Now it's because of Medine.
3 years.
Oh, here we go. We've got a free kick. Get it skidding off the turf, Keshi.
Put it in the goal hole.
Tim. Do you hear the commentator then? He said, just hit the target. You muted, Tim. Come on, Keshi.
Did you hear the commentator then? Like he's not about 3 minutes behind.
Fuck me.
What
the fuck was that?
Rugby that.
Okay, that
3 points.
All in. Get your head down. You've got to hit the target, Tim.
He's more annoying because we're playing well. It's so frustrating because then people are going to look at, they're just going to refuse to credit us for the fact that we've had a good performance here, but we've been really good.
Second tier podcasts are going to look at the score and be like, Blackpool are getting relegated.
Yeah. I literally, just as I finished my sentence, Gabriel has completely flapped it out of play.
Yeah. I think with the first as well, and I don't blame Grimshaw for this, but it's as if they had Maxwell shouting and pointing, and I think I'm not so sure that would have happened.
Go on, Carey, lad.
Nice Carey.
Oh, lovely ball.
Medine would have been on the end of that.
Medine would have been nowhere near the box.
Trying to get fucking in the box.
Yes, he would have been He would have been acting as a gravity play and dragging a couple of markers out of it, and then that would have left a space for Gary to nip in and score.
Hit it, Keshi.
Gravity play.
Never mind. I'm sorry, Keshi. I was wrong.
Time check. What we all on? 26, 43.
26, 40.
Well, we're about the same, aren't we?
This commentator
keeps saying hit the target.
Hit the target.
You're not hearing this.
This guy's got a bet on, hasn't he?
You're muted, Tim. You're muted.
I was just saying to myself, hit the effing target. I'm a bit behind you guys, so I saw Keshi's one that hit row Z.
Oh. Well played again. Carey's having a crack.
Carey's done all right, yeah.
Yeah. Both teams are quite similar in midfield in the way of kind of pressing for the ball in midfield, but then quite good at little 1-2s around the man. So it's just again, we've just got to take a chance on it when we get it. And
shit, that's it. That's really bad.
So I get one back here, and
that's the thing, and it's just confidence because we slowly.
Commentators already about resting plays in the second half, and
when we play well, but then we don't get a goal within the first half. That's when you come out the second half. They're a bit like, kind of, what else can we do here to get a goal? And they get a bit frustrated, I think, at times.
That's a good ball, Marv.
Go on. Great pass.
Right, that's a good pass. Go on.
Ah, good tackle. Proper chucking it down, isn't it?
It's a good job this isn't League One, otherwise they'll be trying to have the game called off.
Sure. They seem to be trying to overload us on that right-hand side at the moment. Diagonal balls out wide as well. Gabriel sits quite narrow naturally. And they're getting a little bit of joy out of there.
Well, Critch looking unhappy again.
That's a beautiful ball from
Plymouth game if the weather keeps up.
Well, we're just getting any mishaps out of our system for Saturday. That's all it is.
Pressing and losing.
Yeah,
do you want to know why Preston are losing?
They dropped Barkhusen, didn't they, after that press conference as well?
Normally out there comes there, thinks the players really well.
It just feels like we've lost the plot a bit now. We've gone off the boil. Heads have dropped. Insert cliche.
I think it'd be Critcher though. You're going to look at this and just think, bearing in mind how much possession we've had. I mean, he couldn't ask for any more possession, really, could he? And then really we just defended, which isn't like us really. We defended so poorly on just in like 2 or 3 instances, and we've been punished unbelievably harshly. I mean, if you take the goals aside, you'd be actually quite happy with the way. I think most people would be quite happy with the way we played and how much possession we've had and what we've done when we've had the ball. So it's an extremely strange game so far for me.
Yeah, if we looked at the XG,
we'd be 4-0 up.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to much. I'm not listening to much of the commentary because I've got the sound down. But Sam says he's getting very wound up with how their commentators are eulogising over their performance when actually they've been pretty crap.
I suppose another way of looking at it is that they've just sort of sat in. We've not really hurt them, and then they've the second goal really was one that I thought they played it quite well. They've been clinical.
Yeah, I agree, John Ford. Disgraceful, this data crap.
I've got to say, Drinkwater looks like a decent player, doesn't he? At this level, he seems to be dictating play a bit for them.
Here's a fun quiz question for you. The D on the edge of penalty boxes, does anybody want to know what they're for?
No, actually. No.
Is it not to keep the...
I thought it was the distance from the penalty spot when the penalty...
Yeah, I did.
Correct. It's to stop encroachment on penalties. Yeah. The D is such that every single spot along it is exactly 10 yards from the penalty spot.
There wasn't a D until about 1928 or something.
Yep.
I think I'm right in saying the D was the last thing introduced to the pitch markings.
That's my understanding as well. Introduced in the 1920s. Corner flags in the penalty box had been introduced long before.
Our guest Nobber for tomorrow night says, is it possible we could both lose on Saturday?
I was going to say they're losing means they're in bad form, but if we're losing, it means we're just getting any mishaps out of our system. So,
at the end of the day, they look very extremely static creatively, whereas we look like we can make things happen. I think that's the main difference, really. They're heavily reliant on two individuals in their side to kind of just make something out of nothing. We do create chances for people.
But they're winning 2-0.
Oh, I'm on about Preston.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, John.
Don't worry, we've got Big Gaz to come on at half time, so it'll be fine.
I'm leaving this stream.
Do you know? I wonder what the possession stats are up to now, because we seem to have had. I reckon we must be like 60% possession. I think
they keep hitting this diagonal over Gabriel, so they clearly see him as someone to get him behind at the moment.
They probably just watched the first goal from Saturday, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say actually in the pod, and I never said it, that it is Gabriel's sort of Achilles' heels. It's his kryptonite, isn't it? Those balls in behind him, and I wonder if it's any coincidence that Forrest knew that was his kryptonite. It was a beautiful pass, but it was very deliberate pass to knock it behind Gabriel, and it's interesting, as you say, that they're doing it as well.
I was going to say, Steve Cooper actually pointed out Keogh as he said in his post-match press conference, he said it was the left-sided centre-half that they actually targeted with the ball in behind, and they kind of sat Brennan Johnson in between Keogh and Gabriel, and he felt that the gap's too wide between the two of them, or it's Garbutt as well, sorry. It's kind of the gap's too wide between the fullbacks and centre-halves.
The other point is, if anybody's going to know what Jordan's weaknesses are, it's going to be Forrest, isn't it?
That's what I was intimating. That.
So possession stats are 49-51 in Blackpool's favour, and Reading have an XG of 0.5, which is all pretty much their second shot into an open net. And we have an XG of 0.2.
So on the basis of the SG, we're losing this game, are we?
Yeah,
4-0.
mainly because of that big.
Surprised it's a 0.2 for Yates. It's his rebound. I guess it's the angle of it.
Yeah. Go on, Keshi.
I do like this little shift in the ball with. Oh, I do like this little bit of the interchange that we seem to be doing on the edge of the area out wide to get balls into the box. It's just not a good delivery again.
Jimmy just proving me right that he's actually got quality delivery. It's a terrible cross. But that was almost what I was saying. Is he feels like he links really well with. I remember this from watching him last year. He feels like he links really well with his little short passes and movement. It's just he doesn't cross as well as Garber.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think our strongest team has Husband in it, and
at left back
and Garber.
Yeah, no, I think he's the best left back at the club without a question in terms of being a left back.
Bit of a Timism from Mark there, Tim. Mitchell is myopic. What does that mean?
As I understand, it's like just one-dimensional. Is it? That's without looking.
It's a sight thing. It's when you can't see anything that's not. It's if you've got if you're myopic. Yeah, I can't remember whether you have to look at things far away or really close up. I'm pretty sure it's like it's when you're not blind, but you've got really impaired vision. I think.
Yeah, it's being very nearsighted, but to Tim's point, it's also kind of lacking imagination, lacking vision.
Yeah. So that in this context, I'd have said like one-dimensional. You know, he's not looking beyond the obvious. I think that's what Mark's alluding to.
Is that a fair comment?
Well,
no, I think he's been all right. It's like he's kind of faded in and out of game, but I think I think we've all been fine. I think going forward we've been fine. We're just missing that touch, aren't we, at the end of the possession? But link up player wise, I think we've been best we've been in a fair while, to be honest.
But do you not think that Bowler would thrive with the possession we're having away from home?
Yeah, I think it's a game you bring Bowler on with 30 minutes to go, and you kind of hope you nick. Oh, hang on, you nick a goal now.
Go on, Keshi. Come on.
We are.
Go on, Keshi. You're 1-on-1. Express yourself.
You've got to score.
This is where you.
Got to score that.
We're not going to win the game, are we? Or we're not going to get anything out of the game if you can't take your chances there. No, you should have played it through. Dougal shouldn't have shot there.
I did have Kenny Dougal long range shot on my bingo.
Did you? We'll get it up at half time. What a miss by Keshi, though. You've got to score that. You've got to. Right back in it.
I think the thing with Bowler today is if they're overloading the right-hand side, Demi's getting back and doing a lot of defensive work at the moment, and it's whether Bowler will be able to do the same if he came on. But again, when we're struggling so much to take chances like we are today, you just need to bring on someone like Bowler, just chance it.
That was a lovely ball from Carey.
I think the other thing going back to Mitchell, the other thing to note is he's obviously not playing in his natural position. He trained as a left back. We converted him to a left mid, and now we're playing him on the right. And the other thing is, I'm not sure we'd have so much possession if Bowler was playing. Bowler isn't really one for intricate build-up around the box. He runs at people and either does something great or loses it.
But do you not think? I'm a bit behind him, but the way they were running at them into space. I just think that Bowler's going to thrive on that. When Bowler plays well, he's got space to run into. And all I'm saying, obviously I'm a bit so behind you, but all I'm seeing is us keep picking up the ball and having opportunities to run at them.
No, completely, but I don't think Bowler would have made the pass to Keshi to put him 1-on-1.
Bowler doesn't change the decision making. It's the decision making. It's the composure in the final third, isn't it, that we're missing? And Bowler doesn't particularly add that in a game.
But he adds that. He adds that something different, doesn't he? He adds that unpredictability.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
Why is no one slagging off Keshi for that miss?
Oh no! I was going to say it's a bad minute. It should be 3-2, shouldn't it? Really, realistically, now we've had three chances.
The defender, to be fair, comes across him and blocks it.
He didn't hit it with any confidence, though.
No, he didn't. But he was still going to make that defender, wasn't it?
He's hit the ball.
Owen Dale might
he's hit the ball with the ball at his feet. He's not got it from out of his feet. Terrible finish.
Might as well chance Owen Dale for me.
Owen Dale has been excellent on my FIFA save. I'm fully for that.
Get him in. Get him in.
He's got a lot more pace than Josh. Better decision making.
Free kick.
Foul. Well played, Demi.
Lovely.
Let's see how we can fuck this up now.
Don't let Kashi take it.
I look forward to seeing
this time?
He's going to score another 3 points for us from the penalty kick. It's going to be great.
Let's have some wild set piece routine now. Might be Carey, maybe. Carey and Mitchell are on it, I think. Looks like Mitchell wants it.
Trained as a left back, Connor. Trained as a left foot.
Well, he was at Marcus Rashford's kind of honorary graduation ceremony a few weeks ago.
There we go. Hit the target. Come on, hit the target.
That expression's copyrighted to Halifax 71.
Yes. Fuck me.
Don't really know what to make of that.
It's getting closer. A couple more of them, we might actually, get close to the goal.
What was that?
Ronaldo-esque.
Dump.
He went for Ronaldo. That was proper Ronaldo technique, that. He's tried to knuckleball it.
Anybody else think we could have done with Garbutt on the pitch for these free kicks we keep getting?
Saying that, Tim, he's not been that good, has he, from set pieces? Considering he came with that reputation.
So this could be our new USP. This could be our new USP. John, couldn't it? The eat along.
Come on.
He's frozen on us.
No.
Fork in mouth.
I know. How far down his gullet is that?
You froze John with a fork down your throat. I think. I do think it could be our USP. Is the eat along?
Yeah.
It could. It's the
eat along on depressing Blackpool performances. That's a unique selling point. That.
I think that'd lead to exponential growth as well.
Oh, definitely. And I've knocked my beer over and I'm going to have to wipe it up off the floor.
Fourth officials clearly just giving 1 minute.
I hope it's not carpet.
Out in the rain.
No, it's not carpet. It's not carpet. It'll be right.
I knocked over half a pint of milk all over my cooker and oven today.
No.
Milk's the worst. Gets everywhere and stinks.
No use crying over it, John.
You're on form tonight, Connor.
One of the Blackpool side has to be. They're not.
Yeah, I know how to.
How much space we got to run at them?
No, you're right, Tim, and I think it would be interesting to see if we get Bowler on. If we get like 5 minutes before they realise what he can do properly. You bring a sub on, you get that little window of opportunity before they adjust to him. You could see him causing absolute havoc.
We need the holy trinity of Gary. We need Bowler on to win the free kicks. We need Garbutt on to take them, and we need Gary on to score them.
Holy trinity.
Gary and the disciples.
The thing is, I would put on Dale just because he's an unknown quantity, and he seemed like he was a relatively clinical player in the final third when he played for Crewe in that 6-month spell. So I don't know. I would put him and Garbett on personally, just because Garbett's got better delivery, and we seem to have a lot of joy from wide areas at the moment. So,
Tim, turn your TV down. It's really loud.
Okay. I'll just go mute.
But I still think we're in this personally. If we come out like
for me, Keshi had to score. He had to score that chance.
But we've created four opportunities now where you think on another day we could well have put them away. So if we create at that same level in the second half, then who knows?
We are 2-0 down, and we've played far better than we played at Bournemouth when we were 2-0 down. We've created far more than we did in the first half at Bournemouth, and we came back in that. So we're not out of it.
It is very frustrating, isn't it? It always is when it's a game like this.
8 shots we've had.
8 shots. 8 shots, 3 on target, 3 corners, 9 fouls, 50-50 possession. I don't know why I read fouls out like that. Was a big stat, but...
Well, they've had 2 shots on target, both in. 3 shots in total. What a shitter.
I'm going to wipe me floor.
I'm going to open a window and pop.
Apparently, according to the commentators, the weather's a bigger threat to Reading than we are.
What, it might get called off?
Yeah. Might suit us at the moment. Well, they're rather. I mean, I think Joe Gradwell said it before. They're very biased in the comments because, to be honest, I think they've been pretty poor that first half.
I brought a really classy item to the eat along to go with Tim's Japanese food. I brought some Monster Munch.
How much do Monster Munch cost nowadays? Is it like Freddo's way of, had 700% inflation?
I don't know. I haven't bought an individual packet of crisps outside of football ground for a long time. So obviously football ground prices are not realistic. But I before the game, I always have a pint, and then I always get my lad a bottle of Coke and a packet of salt and vinegar crisps, and they're about £1.60 normally. I don't think they're that much, but you can get a multi-pack of Monster Munch, I think, sometimes for £1. So that's nice. I don't think that's a bad investment.
Other crisp brands are available.
They are. They are roast beef, Steve. That is what they are. I should eat really while I'm eating. It's not a nice sound. And it's like we'll move into ASMR videos eating crisps.
It's a dire performance when people are calling for John Jules to get back into the squad.
I was going to say there's Reading fans on my Twitter feed now saying that they're pretty much fair game. They agree that the fact that we've been probably much the better side and they've kind of just taken their chances and they're not really impressed with their performance. So glad to see that it's not just us being like on our own side. But I think the biggest positive for me was that we've created a lot of chances and they haven't necessarily fed through Keshi every time, which is what we've relied on a lot this season, whereas Carey stepped up to the mantle massively in that number 10 position. And that's so important for us for the rest of the season if you've got another option in there.
And Carey's only played 2 games for us so far, right? He played, I think one of the cup games was against Borough, and then he played a Lancashire Cup game. And obviously he had the league debut the other day, but he's not had any game time before now to really really
he played against Sunderland as well. Played at Sunderland in the League Cup as well. But yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's that thing about, people are obsessed with the level of players, which I don't necessarily particularly believe in, that players are, a League One player or a Championship player. I think it often depends on the system you put them in, the players you put around them, the job you ask them to do as to whether to what, level that player is at. But what we can definitely see from Carey is that he's a player, as you say, who's played a very small number of games, has barely played in the league football, but he's clearly got the capacity to have an impact at this level. And what a huge capacity to improve there must be in that player as well. He's playing well, but without the benefit of all the league experience that other players at this level have. What's his potential when he's played 50 games, 60 games? I think that is really important. I had another point to make, but I've forgotten.
He's quick as well. Like when you look at the way that he's playing mental, like up in his head, he's very quick at reading the game, in and out of possession. I'm surprised by how well he's played out of possession as well. He's won a lot of turnovers high up the pitch, and I just see it's so important that, because we've been so reliant on Keshi.
Well, it's what I said before kickoff. It's that you see that there's a player who's obviously got. When I first saw him, I thought, well, he's obviously going to be skillful, because I'd read what people said about him on Twitter. But it was that off the ball work, and it was that fact that the player he instantly reminded me of, because he was obviously playing his role in the side, but he instantly reminded me of Grant Ward, in that, not so much in that he was like Grant Ward, but Grant Ward is so intelligent off the ball. He's so clever in his movement. He just makes a team. And I thought, I was really surprised that this 21-year-old from Kings Lynn had evoked that comparison, because you expect him to be raw and naive. And
you just expect the technical player, don't you? There's 100 of them that are about where they're good technically on the ball, but they have nothing else to their game. Yeah. It was I remember what I was going to say. It was what Craig and Joe had said in the chat about sitting in their ground every week, and it makes you think, doesn't it? If with a different history, we could be playing in some kind of bowl at Windyke Farm, surrounded by the Oyston shopping complex that was the reason why he wanted, or whatever it was that he was trying to build, his Oyston Megadome entertainment complex, and that would have been shite. Yeah, the Oyston Megadome is currently a loft at Blackpool FC Hotel now. That's what he calls it, I imagine.
The only thing that surprised me about that Coliseum development was that it wasn't going to be named after Owen. With his vanity, it would be the Owen Oyston Arena or whatever,
That would have been a typically modest statement. I mean, he'd probably come up with some stupid Latin name that meant.
To be fair, when they were building it, it was going to be the same as Schalke's, the Veltins Arena, but smaller. And I actually think it would work really well in Blackpool with that, the undercover stadium where you can take the pitch out and have a concert venue. I think he actually had a good idea. He just didn't put his money where his mouth is.
No, I agree, because it's what Blackpool really lacks is a really high quality, a high quality entertainment venue for concerts at scale, isn't it? It just does, and I think you're probably right.
So rather than have all the Neil Diamond fans trampling all over the pitch, you actually take the pitch outside and it's a solid floor. It's actually a bit of a no-brainer for someone like Blackpool, to be honest. I'm surprised no other clubs actually really done it in this country.
College did Connor go to? What have I missed?
I think he's got a plum in his mouth, hasn't he? I think that's what John's alluding to. It's because he was brought up in a vicarage, John, not that he went to Oxford.
Well, no, I did go to Oxford as well.
Oh, wow. There you
go. Really? Did you really?
Pembroke College, 2014 to 2017. Thanks for asking.
Tim, you are no longer the smartest person on this podcast.
We on University Challenge with woolly scarves on and a teddy bear.
I was never smart enough to be on University Challenge. I did the test in Everhig and didn't even get past the first round.
I always like it on University Challenge.
Round?
You what?
Did you have a sports trivia round on University Challenge?
I know, I was just about to say. I'm always praying for that round where they have like football badges on or like a kind of you have a trio of sport-related questions, don't they? Go, yes, finally got one right.
How many headers did the Blackpool forward Gary Medine win on the 25th of January 2021 against Wigan Athletic?
That's what you've got to go on Mastermind.
No, I'm sorry, it's 13.
Go on Mastermind. You can choose your own subject then. The history of Blackpool between 1995 and 2005.
That's Mastermind.
That's what I said. You have to go on Mastermind.
Okay.
So listen, when you went for your University Challenge thing, is that what they do? You do like a base test and the...
Yeah, like each college has its own selection procedures. Mine, it was just literally a general knowledge test where they just pick, I think, questions out of like various old University Challenge shows. Like the top people in that get through to a second round where there's like another form of test that I never saw because I wasn't smart enough.
Your mistake was the real geeky ones want to get on it will go through all the old University Challenge shows. It's a little bit like when you went on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. They used to. You've got to create a little cabal that shares information, and then you study it, and then you get on, and then you'd be famous. Unlike that, instead you're on the pod. You could have been on University Challenge.
I'd much rather be on the pod. You can't drink on University Challenge.
Or eat either, can you?
Were you ever in the boat race, Connor?
No, sadly not. I did do a lot of coxing in college sport, though, which isn't where you do the rowing. It's when you're the person in the boat shouting at other people, which I much preferred.
Yes.
Isn't coxing a kind of initiation ceremony at universities like Oxford?
No, it's the person who sits in the boat and shouts at people. And normally you have to be quite small because you don't want your weight dragging down the boat. But obviously I'm not that small. I'm like 6'2". So my bio on Tinder for a long time read the biggest cox in Oxford.
Oh.
Boom, boom.
I've always wondered why it's only Oxford and Cambridge are allowed to enter the boat race, and what would happen if, like, what's a really crappy? Well, no, sorry, UCLan or the University of Sunderland or my own the University of Huddersfield. I mean,
I went to Huddersfield.
I very nearly went to Huddersfield.
I always wondered what would happen if me and you turned up at the boat race in an inflatable boat and said we were joining in, and they said no, you can't. So it's called the University Boat Race. Why are you provide diners entry? Why is it only the qualifiers? There are other universities.
It is very elitist, isn't it?
Yeah. It's called the University Boat Race.
Just for Craig's benefit, a cabal, it's a 17th century expression, and it related to the advisors to King Charles II. But it's also become known as like when you've got a little a group, like a group within a group that actually controls what's going on. You call it a cabal, and it begins with a C, not a K.
Like Oxford and Cambridge.
A little bit like Oxford and Cambridge.
Well, there we go. That's what you get with a Huddersfield education, you see, Connor. You should have aimed
It is, isn't it? I learned that. I learned that on George Street in Huddersfield.
Absolutely. You should have aimed higher, Connor.
Tim, it sounds very tin pot, Huddersfield University.
Yeah, so actually the official expression is a secret political clique or faction. There you go. You learn every day's a school day.
We're back out early.
Yeah, he sent them out early.
I see Man United are losing 2-0 at home to Atlanta, so every cloud. We're not
the
only
ones. The end of Ollie. Then nothing will be.
I think he lost the season.
You reckon?
They're just all in on this like nostalgia trip, aren't they?
Yeah, but
What is it? They called Steve Bruce? Cabbage head.
Yeah, cabbage head.
Tactically inept cabbage head.
I'm sorry, but that reporter never kept a straight face when he heard that. No way in a million years did he have an ounce of sympathy for him at that point.
Shouldn't laugh, but it's pretty has.
We should laugh. He put himself into that circumstance. He knew what the Ashleys were, what Mark Ashley was. So.
Not as bad as the Oystons, though, was he?
No, but it's just it's kind of like he's come out as if he's like some sort of victim in all of this, and it's like, well,
but he gets a nice payoff.
It's on about a £7 million contract. I was going to say it's 7 or 8 million quid. It's not
it's
exactly
a 3-year rolling contract, isn't it? So
excuse me,
I'd quite happily take being called a tactically inept cabbage head.
I don't get why I would just take it on because you get less grief if you just kind of make it into a joke. You're like, yes, look at me, it is Mr. Cabbagehead attending my press conference.
Get a T-shirt with like a cabbage on and wear it to your press conferences. Become a meme.
Well, his meme is the bacon thing, innit? That was the best one. What was?
He could go on Crackerjack. Those of a certain vintage.
Are we kicking off, everyone?
Yeah,
just kicked off.
Well, I've kicked off. I've kicked off a while ago.
I'm on 4:10, 45:10.
45:14.
18.
Okay.
I had to reboot the stream because it froze, so I think I've jumped ahead now.
What are you on now, Mitch? Mitch, what are you on?
Say again.
What are you on?
32, 45, 33, 34, 35.
That might refresh mine.
Behind, that's all.
Yeah, I'm 2 behind as well. Might refresh. Right, we're getting back into this game then, or what?
I think we've got a chance, but it just depends out. If we start with the same vein, keep creating the amount of chances we have. Oh, fuck me. What are we doing there? I just think it's inevitable that we're going to score one at least, surely. But
I think that's kind of I just want to see us keep going and at least get one. I want to see us keep going and get a reward for the way we've played and some belief in this way of playing. The problem is if we play this way and we lose two or even worse.
Shit.
Good stop.
It's Marv again.
He's had a shocker, hasn't he? I think Marv's had a pre-match bong.
So it's surprising because Puskas isn't the paciest forward in the world.
His granddad wasn't.
Preston have equalised at Deepdale, I think.
Oh, fucking hell.
Good result that for them as well against Coventry.
Oh, but yeah.
Good news is I've had early payouts on Reading winning, so Blackpool can win now and not fuck up my coupon.
It's crazy.
Good news for our discerning, degenerate gambler. I think you've got a problem, Tim.
I could have been at Deepdale tonight with my UCLan University buddies in the press box, but I decided otherwise and came on here. So, massive sacrifice there. Hottest ticket in town.
Do they count the press box in the attendance? Is that why they try and encourage you to go so much?
Yeah. What minute are we on?
Is everyone excited to try the new ticket gates on Saturday?
Oh, very much.
As demonstrated by the SLO.
Yes.
I'm surprised they did it for the Preston game, though. Like, they changed the systems for the Preston game.
I liked the fade they put on the camera as he went through the gate and sort of went through the turnstile. It faded to black. It was like he was going into a portal of
doom,
nothingness. Yeah, like a void of some kind of terrible abyss.
I'll tell you what, that was a great save by Grimshaw. Just showed the replay.
It was a good shot.
Brilliant save.
Richard, we're playing well.
Over, if that goes in.
Richard, we're playing well. We've just been frustrated in front of goal in terms of quality when we're trying to take chances. Reading kind of 2 mistakes from us, 2 goals for Reading. But generally, I think without those 2 mistakes, we'd be very, very happy with this performance. That's pretty much how it's going.
I mean, that's what I was in the middle of saying with that chance is that, I want to see us keep going and get somewhere near back into it. I want us to get at least one goal and obviously ideally 2 and even more ideally 3. But I want us to get something to take some confidence away from how we've played, if that makes sense. I want us to not play well and get beaten heavily and then, to play the 4-2-3-1 and to play the football that we've played, that relies on some confidence, and it'll be a shame if it ends up, going back to the drawing board after what's looked like a lot of promise.
Well, the first thing will be, look how much we missed Lavery, which is what they'll be thinking themselves with the amount of chances they're creating. You don't want that to be the takeaway from this game, do you, really, going into such a big game at the weekend?
Handball shout. Let's have a look. No. Fucking hell, that's handball. That is handball.
That is handball. His hand moves on the ball, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like he's pushed it away.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
He backs it away.
Stop being objective and rational, Sean. You're not some kind of journalist.
It's not handball for me.
It's a fucking handball. Nailed on. 2 penalties, that.
Comes
You'd
in.
be fuming if that was against us.
Fuck me, Keshi. You're having a mare.
Ooh.
He's allowed.
You're ahead now, John.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you pause for a couple of seconds, John, I think you'll be in line with us.
50-36.
So just me, or does Danny Drinkwater's kit look a little bit too big for him? He looks like kind of a school kid on first day of school.
Don't know if you remember Robert Earnshaw's cameo for us away at Bolton when his shorts were about 3 sizes too big for him.
Right, who's lining this one up?
Drifted. Oh. Oh!
Go on.
Oh, big shout.
Hey! He's going to dive.
Penalty.
He's going to dive.
Yes.
What?
He's going to dive.
What? Oh,
No.
Jerry's getting well involved now.
Go on, Jerry, lad. Right into him.
You see him giving
Jerry
the
doesn't
old
react
chat
like that.
Sunday.
I'm sorry. I'm not having Jerry reacting
He's
like
doing
that.
that.
It's not a pen. You wouldn't be that brazen, would you? If it's not going to be.
No.
I'm saying this.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm going to say this now, and he's going to fucking swan on floor on the replay. But I just think you're not that brazen, are you?
No. You want to just let's have a look.
Oh, I can't tell from there, to be honest.
It looks like he catches him a little.
Yeah, that's not a booking.
Can't tell.
Yeah, because it's like the referee's done one of them where it's like, if there's contact for me, there can be contact, but not enough for a penalty. That doesn't.
Yeah,
make
completely. I think it's one of those.
No, it's not a booking. I don't.
Can't tell. Yeah, look at.
There's a world in which
Look
that's
at Casey's
a penalty.
reaction. Look at Winslow's reaction when he saw it straight away. He was adamant.
Down, though. Jerry needs to calm down here, though, if he's going to get, needs to keep himself cool for 5 minutes. Don't go into a silly tackle now and get sent off.
Yeah,
it's one of them. I wouldn't have personally got a penalty for that angle, but
there's a world in which
a dive.
There's a world in which it is a penalty, and like you can see that in a Premier League game, you can see that going to VAR and it being given. I'm not saying it is a penalty, but you can see it being given. It's certainly not a dive. Not in any world is it a dive.
I'd like to see another replay.
I think the keeper goes in. I don't think the keeper goes in to bring him down, but I think the keeper does definitely connect with him. And I don't think he throws himself on the floor. I think he just gets. Well, that means they'll be overconfident on Saturday.
That's all right. Get Scott Sinclair sent back to fucking Scotland, mate. Solid. That means Barkhusen won't start, so he can't have you. And no one can have their little booing session for Barkhusen. as this game goes on, we've got no luck here, have we? We're just not.
No.
2 shit free kicks, 2 pens been turned down. Keshi's missed a 1-on-1. Out of one of those 2 penalty incidents, you want one of them, don't you?
Yeah.
I've only seen the Jerry one where he's going away from goal, but why? I don't see him throw himself to the ground there.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't throw himself to the ground. There's contact with the keeper without a question. I can accept it's not a penalty, but I can't accept it's a dive. It's not a dive. It's not. And Yates hasn't got form for diving. He's not. That's not the kind of player he is.
That's
if anything, Yates.
Yeah.
If anything, Jerry's that kind of player that you sometimes get frustrated that he stays on his feet, and he'll try and. Yates is that player that he always bounces up. He's scored some cracking goals last year.
And to be honest, he couldn't necessarily see where the keeper was anyway. So if he's trying to engineer a dive, he can't see him because he's facing the opposite direction. So he's got to be.
For me, it's always the other players' reactions. And Wintle was right next to it, and he went at the ref straight away. If it's a dive, you don't do that, do you? But he was the closest player to the ball. Come on, here we go. Keshi. Nice.
Have a strike, man.
Mitchell, what the fuck?
It's just not. We're not good enough. We're not good enough in those areas. From wide areas, we're just not good enough. Cutting inside and trying to score.
What was that?
See other
That
teams
was
in the league.
pathetic.
Have you seen the chat? The Nobbers are winning.
Seaside of 52. I think it was definitely a card for the dive or suspected dive. Like the referee had this card out of his pocket. I think even before Jerry had gotten up off the floor.
We're all over him.
We've been all over him all game.
I tried Dale here for me.
You've got to get Bowler on. I think you've got to go.
Yeah.
What's Bowler? What difference has Bowler had in terms of when he gets into those positions?
I take him off for Mitchell.
Taking his chances.
Mitchell's not done enough.
You've got the option of either of taking Keshi off. He's had a bit of a.
Take them both off. Take them both off and just switch to Dale and Bowler.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
So we have a lot of very good creative players out wide, but you don't necessarily have one that you would bank on to score.
That's it. Here we go. Third time.
Oh, come on.
Fucking hell, he's booked him.
Fuck off. Fucking.
Is this guy for real?
That's ridiculous.
If this is a pen now, I'm going to cry.
Hang on. Right, here we go. Let's have a look.
I think it's a shame we don't have Ollie Sarkic on the bench. We need a game changer like him.
There's not.
That's a penalty.
Right, watch this. It's not physically possible what he's just done. For that to be a dive, he'd have to be the world's greatest fucking ballet dancer. And to throw yourself down, like to stop like that, it's just not physically possible. Fuck off jogging around, you little fucking prick. Him waddling round like he's fucking king of the world. Right, I nearly called him a bald bastard then. That would have been ironic, wouldn't it?
It's like, Mitch, I sometimes call someone people specky twats, so you can.
Well, I saw the comment in the chat where I'd said something about Jerry's not that kind of player, and somebody, I think it was Gurney, had called it out. That's and right. I've reflected on that, and I have made Jerry out to be perhaps more of an angel than he is.
Yeah.
But honestly, butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. He
is that sort of player.
He is exactly that sort of player.
Gurney, I've called him out there.
Oh my days!
But you've spelt shite wrong.
I want to see that Mitchell one again. It's like he couldn't fake that kind of fall. It's
I'm watching this Jerry replay and I just can't. You can't see.
We need VAR.
To be honest, we've just seen the Mitchell one again. It looks a stonewall penalty.
Mitchell's is the stone wall out of the three, isn't it?
Probably the referee's a bold bastard. I used to be the Romanian goalkeeper in the 90s.
Maybe he's to borrow his wig. What if the wig's still going?
Bora Mihailovic was his name.
I'll get a picture of him up. Hang on. How'd you spell it, Mitch?
Bora Mihailovic. I'll look it up again. I looked it up. But there's photos of him like before with no hair and then after with the weird hair on his head. I just Googled Reading goalie wig. Hang on, I'll find it.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, I need Medine in there.
Reading goalie wig.
Here we go. If you put Reading goalkeeper wig in images, there's like a before and after photo.
Oh, yeah.
Good lads.
Fair play to him. He looks miles better with his wig.
Maybe I should go for it.
It's pretty realistic as well.
Man United losing at home to Atalanta.
Who cares, Tim?
No, I'm saying I think Solskjaer's got he's on borrowed time, I think.
Holy shit.
Falling to box. Oh. I mean, he was on borrowed time the minute he went in. He was literally.
Well, Pat was saying Ronaldo's been suggesting Zidane to take over, isn't he?
Ronaldo shouldn't be suggesting anything because I don't know if you saw that video of. Yeah, he's the main problem. I was going to say, if you seen that video of Cavani pressing, Ronaldo giving up and Cavani like bombing it to press. I don't know if you've seen that, but it kind of says it all, really. Ronaldo's their issue.
If Solskjaer goes, they're clearly coming after Neil Critchley next.
Yeah, exactly.
And
there's going to be a bidding war between Newcastle and United
to replace Ronaldo.
Say again, Tim.
They need to sign Gary Medine to replace Ronaldo.
They couldn't afford him.
It could be like the new Ibrahimovic, couldn't he?
Actually, yeah.
I would be making
Ched Evans is a much better comparison for Ronaldo than Ibrahimovic.
What a transformation.
Jesus.
I think you should go for it, Mitch.
Yeah, could do, couldn't it?
Also, I really rate that goalkeeper kit. I want to find that on eBay.
Nice. That'd be worth at least £800.
It looks like a Spider-Man.
It looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Yes. Or a teen. You remember those Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles chest things that people used to have? It looks a bit like one of them. Or no, actually, it looks like the shell, but on the front.
Yeah, it looks like kind of a fake. You know, when you have like a skeleton costume on a kind of a onesie.
Tempo fell off a bit. I think we
has he been in the time machine that keeper because that ref because the one on the left looks like it's from the 70s and the one from the right looks like the 90s.
Oh!
Look how far behind play the ref was then. He was miles away.
He is. He's an old duffer.
He is.
Who is the ref?
He looks like he's.
I thought Kevin Friend was the worst ref we've had this season on Saturday, but this guy is this guy's going for it.
He's like a teacher who's like 1 year from retirement.
Yeah, I was going to say he's like a skinny version of the guy in Kes that referees the game.
Yeah, Brian Glover.
Yeah. But actually plays the game, doesn't he?
He's Bobby Charlton, though. He doesn't think he's Bobby Charlton.
He is, yeah.
With this United kit on.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh,
Winsol.
who's that?
Do you not think it's time for a change?
Yes.
Right, here we go. Change coming on, and it is...
Owendale.
There we go.
Mesh.
This is the one.
Boo, get off, Shashi, rubbish.
Don't ever criticise him, ever.
See, I said shut up, right?
Boo. Get off, you're rubbish.
Who's better, Keshi or Sully Kaikai?
Oh. Connor, don't ask that question.
I want Seaside's pod Civil War.
Don't ask that question. Sean and I have been very civil recently.
Kai.
Kai, get a grip. Get a grip. Honestly, get a grip, please. I beg you all, get a grip.
The customer is never wrong.
I know.
That's a good ball.
Is Dale left or right-footed?
Well, it'll be the opposite of whatever side Critchley's playing on him.
He's put him on the left, hasn't he? So
yeah.
Yes, Richard, it is Dale's first game. Come on, we need a goal now. Is this a like-for-like switch then on the left? There's no formation changes.
He's more, it's like, but I think Dale's more of a gets in the box, tries to get things in the final third player, whereas Keshi kind of loiters in and around the edge of the box. I think Dale's more of a direct player.
Yeah, he's right-footed.
Mitchell beat the first man. Is Mitchell left-footed or right-footed?
Left-footed.
Mitchell's
he seems very weak on his left foot. Get him off. Get him off.
I'd bring Bowler on. I think he's played all right, Mitchell. He's just quality in the final third. But...
Corner. Nice introduction from Dale there.
Yeah.
Winning corner. Couple of step overs.
We just need this goal, don't we? I think we get this goal and we're really
short corner played back to Dale. Dale brings it on the far side. Cross comes in. No, Gary Medine there to head it in.
Who took that corner? Wintle. Ooh.
Oh, husband. What the fuck was that? Tell you what, our shooting has been terrible this evening.
So squad number's 47.
Who's got that on? Dale? I thought he had 7 on.
No, it's their lad who's coming off 47.
Dale's 12 shots.
This is getting more and more painful as it goes on. I'd have rather just lost 2-0 and been crap.
Oh, here we go, Josh, for Mitchell.
2 really, they're better subs we wanted, so good subs again. See if they make an impact on it.
Obviously, Critch is tuned in.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Mark Garrity's there with a laptop on the side.
You'd have Mike Garrity there. Jesus.
Oh, fucking hit the target! Sorry, I'm about a minute and a half behind you. So I'm just
I was just looking forward to hearing Tim's thoughts on the final whistle of the 1953 FA Cup final in a minute.
Corner.
Yes!
Get in there, Dale.
Is that
beautiful?
Owen.
Oh.
Owen. Here we are. Bit of class.
Not bad for his debut.
Fuck's sake. Get in there.
Don't ruin it for some of us.
Nothing's happened to him.
I was just so excited by a step over he did out wide. It was great.
Oh, that's the bit of luck that we've earned that.
But he does well because he strikes it into the ground.
Hit the target.
Yeah,
strikes it into the ground. That's what you want. It just slips up in this weather.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with that.
It's reminiscent of the Mesut Ozil bounce shot.
Good comment from Ted there. Is Dale been booked for scoring?
Right, sign him up. Give him a blank contract. Get him from Crew no matter what.
I'm going to get really, really excited now. I think we can win this.
Don't say that whilst they're attacking.
Tim's just glad he cashed out.
I've just done a Smith.
Super sub. It's the new David Fairclough, is Dale, isn't he?
What an introduction to
you can't have a more instantaneous one than that, can you?
Mm.
It's a great strike, to be fair, as well. He's got a little bit of a deflection, hasn't it? But he's still in it. He's still in it with. He's still in it. He's got a lot of power on it. It's direct on target, which is what you want.
Bowler on for Mitchell, is he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bowler's on for Mitchell.
Perfect subs already made an impact as well.
Fuck off.
Oh.
Yo.
Done well there, Keo. Yeah.
It's now time for Reading to score another one against the other play.
They've started playing again, Reading now, haven't they?
I don't see how they had the wake-up call before then, because we've been all over him the second half.
Even their commentators have said that we're all over them, which is a feat in itself with the level of their bias.
So what we're saying, we should have had 2 pens, 2 clear-cut chances we should have scored, and we've scored as well. Could have well been anything we wanted here today if it had been another day.
Yes, Richard, it is 2-1 to Reading. John, we need to update the scoreboard.
I think Richard's dipping in and out, isn't he?
Played bowler.
Lovely play, Josh. Lovely.
Inside now. Play the ball inside now, Josh. Hi, Josh. Play the ball now, please. Go on, Gabriel, lad.
Go on.
Oh,
he's won it. Oh. Next phase. No transitions. Who's on the ball? Dale. Great ball. Yeah!
That's a ball.
Who is it? Come on. Yates? Get in there, lad.
Beautiful.
Come on.
Get in. We deserve that.
Someone's on the pitch. What a ball from Dale.
Oh.
What a ball.
Owen Dale. I told you. Final ball quality.
Fucking come on.
That's 3. Is that 3?
What a ball.
That
is a fucking ball and a half.
Yeah. It's good header, that.
It was Medina-esque.
Now just bring Gaz on for the winner.
And it's like, did he take that with his left foot?
Yeah, he
No,
did, yeah.
That's
Side
class.
foot pass. Side foot pass with his left foot.
And he's right-footed. I just want to put that out there. That's his weak foot.
I think it's his right foot.
Yeah, it was his right
Josh
foot.
Fowler has pictures of Owen Dale on his bedroom wall. Super.
I was just about to change the scoreboard to 2-1. And now it's going to change.
I don't fuck it up, Phil. Come on.
Might as well change it to 3-2 now, John. Save yourself some time later.
There we go.
We're doing it now.
3, 2,
We're doing a
1.
hole now. Get in there.
I'm nervous now.
Don't be nervous. And this is why you play a strong side in this game. This is why it's important to play a strong side in this game.
Oh, look at that.
Who cares about the derby?
Yellow
Pushed him off
card.
there, yellow.
Yellow card.
How's that not a booking? If that's not a booking, that's a disgrace.
Absolutely stonewall.
It's an off-the-ball foul.
Oh, I'm turning into one of those awful people that watch football on YouTube whilst other people watch them and I shout at the screen.
How's he not booked him for that?
I'm very close to losing my idea.
Watch him go down the other end and score.
So Owen Dale's going to start then on Saturday.
I was muted, but I'm just saying, isn't it great to see Jerry's obviously got his mojo back, hasn't he?
He's
got that one goal under his belt, and he's
there we go.
Looking.
Go on, Jazza.
Commentator said,
he's in bowler.
There. Let's drink.
Come on, Josh.
Run into a brick wall.
Should have played.
Jazza, don't get booked. Don't get booked.
But how good is that for two subs, though, isn't it? Both subs are on it within 5 minutes. They've both had a major impact on the game, haven't they?
Just shows that quality. All we needed was that extra bit of quality in the final third, and we could have scored a bag full here today.
We've been the better team, haven't we?
They have been shite. For the form side in the league, they've been crap.
Get Gary on.
Just for a laugh, just get him on.
Yeah. We all want a team of Gary Medines, a team of Gary Medines, a team of Gary Medines.
There we go.
Oh.
Brilliant, Yates. One more.
Football.
Hello, Cutlery.
Yes, go on.
Dale. Oh, what's he done there? He's played it across.
Oh.
Imagine if he'd have scored then. That is the greatest debut that I'll have ever seen, that.
But why isn't Josh Bowler just like there to tap it in? Yeah.
Go on, Josh. Go on, Josh.
Dale's basically giving Josh Bowler a blueprint of how to play in the final third here.
Do you reckon you could fit Bowler with an earpiece? And then just have...
Go on, we're all over him. Go on.
Oh, go on, hit it.
What's wrong with these?
Well, that's what Ralph Rangnick wants at Bayern Munich. He said he wants to be like NFL, where he's got a headset and all his players have earpieces.
He's going to play a quarterback, is he, as well?
Yeah. He'll tell them all the XG scores as they're playing.
To be fair, I mean, even putting aside their 2 goals, the football we've played tonight, I think, has been exquisite a lot of the time.
Yes.
It's great to watch. Fucking great to watch.
Owen Dale's not played a game in 3-4 months, and he's come on and done this. It's to get up to the speed of the game is unbelievable.
Go
on, Josh.
Go on, Josh.
There's a ball.
Oh! Fox.
What time are you on, Tim?
Oh, I'm about a minute and a half behind you.
That was Owen
when
Dale,
the ball went across the box. 75-55.
Well, Sean, Dale's done more than get up to the speed of the game. He's pretty much set the tempo of the game when he's come on, isn't he?
Yeah. Because we looked at 5 or 10 minutes before, and we just looked a little bit like we dropped off after the penalty shouts. Like we kind of thought this isn't our day, and he's been unbelievable.
See it again. That football there. Look at that. Look at Jerry.
Why didn't
Jerry Yates then took it on one foot, little shift across, side foot pass, and then that was beautiful.
He also
was
right
Yates
cocky bastard as well. It's great. He's just that you can tell he's going to be
was
a right
to use Tim.
Shit house.
Yeah. To use Tim's description, that was Yates at his Pelé-esque best.
We want to go and win now. Like,
look at all the Reading fans on their phones. Disgraceful.
They're checking the XG.
They're doing the Waitrose order.
Looking up Owen Dale on Transfer Market.
16-4 total shots.
As Jez Evans says in the chat there, we're due a penalty in the 92nd minute.
I want us to win
like to
last
think
kick of the game now, though.
Yeah. Any sort of borderline decision, he's got to give it, hasn't he?
Just keep our heads if we score. Don't want Jerry getting booked for like whipping his tits out into the crowd. Pressing's been ridiculous. The tempo we're setting here.
What's Jimmy Husband doing there?
Husband setting the press.
Dale. What's Dale going to do? Back heel to Husband. Husband crosses it in. Husband shakes it.
That is such a cheeky back heel.
He's great at a back heel and a 1-2, isn't he? Look at that. Oh, he should have squared that.
Thank God he's got the number 7. He deserves it. Looking forward to Mitch's 4,000-word blog about Owen Dale. It's going to be great. Sully has been replaced in your heart now already.
You dirty bastard. Come on.
Hey, that's a booking again.
It's him again.
God.
Apparently, we've got 56% possession, but I think it's more like 76. I mistyped it.
I thought.
Right. We need a left footer. Just skid off the turf.
No. You just let Owen Dale like fucking chip it up in the air, but Owen Dale's just going to half volley it into the top corner.
Chip it up in the air and you'll scorpion kick it in.
He didn't get booked for that. Did he get booked for that?
No.
That is unbelievably shite referee.
Can we complain? Can we
go, free kick.
Who is it?
Oh no, it's not Jezza. Who is it?
Kerry
Mashman. Go on, lad.
Kerry sums it.
I want Keogh in there. I want a Keogh
batted away.
Oh, what a great
back to bowler, fell on the edge of the box.
It's the best free kick we've taken yet, to be fair.
Yeah. Let's do a minute of comms. Whipped in by Dale. Get him off.
Funny, isn't it? The Forest one, the Forest pod, we were all like, Mitchell must play, Keshi is the key. And now we've got to this point and going, get Keshi off, get Mitchell off.
What do we do? What does he do for Saturday now? What does he actually do? Because you're going to have to drop one of Carey. It'll be Carey probably that misses out for Keshi.
Yeah.
Carey's played well though, hasn't he?
But he's been so good.
Yeah, he's played well.
I dropped Mitchell.
Your front four is Keshi, Jerry, Owen Dale, and Tyrese John Jules.
Tyrese John Jules is definitely playing.
Yeah, it's in his contract, isn't it?
I think this is him. Do you know what? This is the worst game that could have happened for John
What a
Jules.
tackle.
I think he gets a look in now.
Beautiful tackle.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who was that tackle?
Check the small print in his contract.
Yeah, I love a good contract.
I'm technically a guest and you have failed to control me. Check the small print in your contract. I am lost for words.
If we go and lose this now.
It'll be a very Blackpool thing to do to lose this game, won't it?
You can't, even though I get Keshi's had a poor game here, but I would never drop him for Saturday.
That's because you love him.
I know, but you can't. Over the season, like he's provided so much more for us.
All right, keep commenting. I've lost my fucking picture. Right, I'll do a minute and someone take over.
I wouldn't drop.
Right, a nondescript Reading player passes it to another one on the right hand side, and he bursts. He breaks forward down the right hand side, halfway into the Blackpool area. Plays a pass intercepted by Jimmy Husband. Husband takes the ball away. Sorry to Keogh. Dale fouled, halfway line.
Disgraceful.
That bald-headed bastard finally blows the whistle. There's Danny Drinkwater in his oversized kit. Plays about
Solskjaer survived. 3-2 Man United.
Crossfield ball to husband, who heads it out from throw.
Oh, Jimmy.
If you could sign any player from Man United, which would it be?
It would be Paul Pogba.
What, for Blackpool?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh.
Carey. Pen! Come on! Blow! Yes! He's giving it! He's giving it! Come on! I said any borderline decision, he's giving it.
That one's not borderline.
Finally!
That's Stonewall.
That's the least of the pens. Come on!
Get Owen Dale on it.
Run. Was it Dale again? Carey.
No,
that was never a
Carey.
pen. No way.
I like this ref.
That wasn't a pen.
Ref.
Any touch and he's down.
Oh, yes.
Fuck me if we do this. Jerry, as we say, Tim, there's never any problem with Jerry scoring pens.
Shut up, John.
Well, this is the one when he misses. Come on, Jezza.
Oh.
Steps up. Here we go. Yes! Come on! Yes! Get in! He's done an Armand Angele celebration.
Oh, he has.
Oh, get in there, Jerry.
Always, mate. This is unreal.
He's got
This
respect for classics.
Unreal.
Keeper got his hands on it. Imagine being there watching this.
Oh.
Yes!
Giving it.
I told you that short.
Can't believe how far behind it is in Tim's house.
I know. That'd have been the one to do, wouldn't it?
Saw it coming as well. If you do score,
Fucking hell. This is unreal.
Isn't it? Imagine Nobbers fans who'd looked at half time and gone, they're losing 2-0, haha. And then
Rubbing their hands together.
Yeah, rubbing their hands together, you know. And then look at this.
Oh, thank God.
Is that 4-3 now for Jezza?
I'm glad
Yeah,
they've made us not look like tits by saying we weren't out of the game either.
We've been the better team, haven't we? We have
We
been
have.
the better
We've been
team. throughout the game.
sensational today. Sensational.
Takes us up to 12.
How many chances were we created today as well? That's what we've missed. Because even in good games that we've played, we've only created 3 or 4 chances. We've created about 9 or 10 chances here.
Yeah.
Well, the shots thing came up before.
John needs to update the score, I think.
We've had 19 shots.
So
and
even you know, you're even behind me.
Shit. Shit.
Just don't sit in now.
Right, anyway.
Free kick.
Time for Gary.
Come on, everybody. It's going to change. It's going to change. Bing!
Hey, and now we're going to set piece.
I watched them score off this.
Yeah.
They've not had a shot like since half time.
We've had 19 shots. They've had 4.
I think you can.
10 big chances created according to Opta.
We're just discussing it here. Do you sit back now and defend, or do you keep on playing the way you've been playing?
We just don't let them
would go
score
the
off this
same
free
again.
kick, Tim. Right.
We're our own worst enemy.
Dangerous.
Today.
Right on the edge of the Blackpool box. Right on the goal line. The byline. Cross comes in. Shit. Oh, my God.
Oh,
That could have gone anywhere.
Right, let's get another now. Let's keep attacking. Let's just go for it.
That could have gone anywhere.
We sent
it's
a day
time
to
for
defend.
Gary in the corner.
No, it's not.
It is. It's time for Gary in the corner. That's what he does. Sean, if he's signed a contract for any
Was that
reason...
handball?
Actually,
Was that
I'll
handball?
give you Gary in the corner. I'll give you Gary in the corner.
Was
Gary
this
in the corner.
handball?
No.
No.
Objectively, was it?
No,
I
genuinely.
didn't see a handball in
No.
that. I saw a hand go up, but I didn't.
That's as much as a handball as our first shout, basically. Oh. It's because he's watching on the Azerbaijani terrestrial feed.
They have to kind of...
in.
Go on.
No.
Oh. We should go and seal this. Come on.
Fucking hell, ref, that's a foul.
Referee, man.
How's that not a foul? You bald-headed bastard.
This is the perfect game for Critchley to come out and slate a referee when we've gone and won the game. We've played really well. Go out and just nail this referee for how
I don't think Critch will ever slate a referee, though.
I mean, he did it. Did he not do it a few weeks back?
He made one comment about how he thought the second goal in Cardiff was offside.
Yeah.
Right, what are we all on? Time chat, 89-20.
89-13.
Is it 8 minutes stoppage time?
We're not there yet.
There's been hardly stopped. I say it's got to be 4 minutes for me.
It's hardly stopped because we've had about 17 fouls and the ref ain't give fuck all.
There's been no injuries, has there? There's not been one injury.
4 subs total, so that'll be 2 minutes, and there's barely been a stoppage otherwise.
Watch him put 8 minutes up.
Final middle finger to us.
Shit. Oh no. That's Swift. He's got him. He's done it. Clear it!
Oh!
I thought Marvin was not going to clear it then.
Our shirts are turning red in the rain.
I really thought
want that
Marvin's
Swift running at you. Great tackle, husband.
It looks like Marv's going to air kick it then, and then he doesn't.
Husband's a great challenge.
Want bowler to carry the ball now. This is what he does best.
Yeah, go all the way down the other end and score.
Yeah.
Has the board gone up
Get
yet?
him on the break. Someone said in the chat 5 minutes, but it doesn't. It's not come up on the screen, has it?
How is the 5 minutes of injury time? What a time added on, rather. Come on, get the ball.
On the break. That's it,
foul.
Jerry.
Thank you.
Superb. Yes. Holds the ball. Good shithousery. That's what we want.
No, look at that. Knock it back.
There we go. He's learnt that from Gary.
Yeah. He is the time-wasting expert, to be fair, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate.
See, Jerry, then he just slyly, as he got fouled, he pushed the ball about 20 yards back as he was falling.
It's because he's not that kind of player.
You know how loads of clubs are now hiring set-piece coaches? United, Aston Villa. We're ahead of the curve. We've lined up Gary Medine to be our time-wasting coach.
Yeah, here he is.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. That was divine inspiration, Connor.
All hail.
Absolutely.
What a performance from Jerry Yates.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's
one of his best in the Blackpool shirt.
Ted
this
Rogers.
for me is our best performance of the season, personally. If you think of how, on another day, how many we could have scored.
This is us playing like we were playing at the back end of the League One season, and we were just on fire.
But Gary draws the foul.
Yeah.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Look at that.
Look at that. Perfect specimen of a human being.
We just want the Cruyff turns in the corner now.
9 points.
People in the chat are saying Formins.
My favourite thing is when he juggles the ball in the corner.
Yeah.
Certainly is, Steve.
Get it to Dale. It's like Dale hit it from 30 yards. It's going to go in.
Go on, Gaz. Here we go. Keep it in the corner. Just get a foul.
Play
corner. Yes, corner. +4, right? There's only 1 minute to go.
Look at
60
Medine.
seconds.
Look at Medine strolling around like he's got slippers on.
I bloody love this football club. It's just great. This is what you want football. This is how you want your team to play football. This is it.
See that? That was quality.
One of them gets sent off at the end. It's blown up
early. Yes, boys. Yes! We have won.
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay, what a result.
He wanted to get out the rain.
He's blowing early, the ref. Right, let's watch Critch now.
There we are.
One of the games of the season. Look at him giving it the shush. What a performance. Cast your minds back to Doncaster away last season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just
brilliant. See Jerry hug that fan.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Oh.
5 changes to the team.
What a performance. What a result.
There we go. 3 points off the playoffs.
Right, we might as well just do a quick match review, put it out as a pod afterwards. We all right with that?
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Let's do it.
Oh, God.
Watch the celebrations.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I need 30 seconds to digest.
Yeah, go on there. Let's take a comfort break and we'll get going.
Yeah.
Get in there.
So I'm just catching up. I've just finished now. My game's just finished.
Atmosphere's bouncing.
Well, there's Jonathan with a beard. I can spot. What's his name? Is it?
Tight.
Yes, I think that was him. That was another guy with a beard.
That is to go into a derby game. That's just the perfect performance. We'll be so up for that now.
That's one of the best away performances. Listen, we were saying it when we were losing, weren't we? Possession-wise, I don't think I've seen us play a better game of football for a long time.
I think that's our best under Critchley, personally. You maybe say Oxford first leg of the playoffs because of the occasion, but I'd say in terms of creating chances, getting on the ball, that's the best we played.
And the Nubbers won as well, apparently, according to our guest tomorrow. So if they beat us, they go above us on Saturday.
They didn't create a lot.
A bit of extra spice.
That's finally poised, isn't it?
We're going to do him, though. We're going to do him.
Steve H, yeah. 41-year-old monkey off our backs. 1980, Tim, as you said.
Yeah. So I think I went to about 82 was when I went to Reading. So
we're just going to do a quick match reaction after this. So stay tuned. We'll give our ratings when everyone's been back from the piss and a pint.
When you come on, we're going to do a quick post-match reaction. You're going to do your man of the match and stuff. Come on. I'm just getting our erstwhile former Friday night presenter to join us for the...
Right, okay.
He's been sat here moaning like fuck about every refereeing decision. So.
As we'd expect.
Fucking hell.
That was unreal.
Away wins don't get better than that, do they? Because you've got the disappointment and the not negativity, because I don't think we're ever negative, but you've got the disappointment and the frustrations of going 2-0 down when you don't deserve to go 2-0 down, and then to come back in the way that we have done, and particularly for the substitutes to have such a significant impact. I think it's almost like the consummate away performance that you're looking for, really.
I'll just put this on Twitter and we'll get going.
And it's the development. It's that thing where.
Shall I stick it on AVFTT in case somebody wants to come on?
Yeah, put the link on. Yeah.
It's like 8-10 months ago.
It's on YouTube, John.
YouTube.
YouTube.
But did I hear that right? YouTube.
Here we go. I'll just say, how do I click that one?
It's also that like 8-10 months ago, Critch just couldn't make substitutes, and he's made the spot-on changes at the right time tonight. You know, he's also that like 8-10 months ago, Critch just couldn't make substitutes.
Oh, that's me going on YouTube.
It was such a good point. He made it twice.
I didn't realize when I did it, I'd obviously be getting in stereo.
And to think people thought this was a non-event, this game, this is why you go for games like this. You've got to be thinking one game at a time, because think of the confidence we've got now. Imagine we'd have played a reserve team and lost 4-0.
If somebody goes on YouTube, are they going to go back to the beginning?
No, because it's live. It'll stay on.
No?
It'll stay on, and then yeah.
I'll just change the badges around.
Yeah, and Peter, like Dennis has said there, Reading have won 5 out of the last 6 games in the league.
Christ.
They're a
What a
form team,
result and what a performance.
They were the form team in the league. They've got some cracking players, and we've completely nullified them today.
The interesting thing is also kept a couple of players in his locker room. I mean, I think he's keeping Garbutt back for Saturday, isn't he?
I thought Jimmy played really well.
Yeah, I think he may well have played himself into the
I think he wasn't culpable for any of the goals, was he? That challenge near the end was absolutely beautiful. And I mean, we said it in the stream, but his link play was really nice. He was part of a lot of that nice build-up play.
Once Dale came on, he had someone to feed the ball to, so we weren't overly reliant on him trying to put balls into the box.
Yeah.
Which is obviously Garbutt plays because we need that reliance of his delivery. Whereas if you've got a player like Dale that can come inside and create anyway, we've just got so many options now in an attacking midfield position. You've essentially, out of nowhere, you've now got 2 extra options that no one would have thought of before tonight, would have been anywhere near it.
You've almost got 2 teams, haven't you? You've got 2 teams when everybody's fit, vying for 11 spots, haven't you? You've got probably 4 attacking options. You've got a good 8 midfield options, haven't you? You've got 4 centre midfield, probably 2 each side wide midfield, and then you've got a plethora of defensive options. You know, I'm not sure Grimshaw's really competition for Maxwell, but you know, I don't think he's done himself any harm tonight.
Yeah, he's
been an absolute worldie of a save, didn't he? Yeah. Right, we all ready?
Yeah.
Tim, can you turn the radio down? It's really loud.
Yeah.
Just mute him. Jesus. All right. It's Wednesday, the 20th of October, 2021. And in this show, we are reviewing what we've just watched, which was an amazing, unbelievable recovery from Blackpool. 2-0 down at Reading to win the game 3-2. A biblical rising from the dead from the Seasiders. I'm John Aspinall, and this is Seaside's podcast, Match Reaction Show. Reading 2, Blackpool 3. Welcome to the Match Reaction Show, and boys, all we've got to do is get your drinks in your hands, raise your glasses to your webcams, and say, Seasiders. What a turnaround that was. We've just been watching this on one of our drink-alongs, and now we're reacting to the game. Best performance for a long, long time, Tim.
As I said in the drink-along, eat-along, chant-along, whatever we want to call it, for me, that's one of the best away games that I've watched for a long time. I think even when we were 2-0 down, it was we looked a class act. I've got to say, we looked a class act.
Another fielding has joined. Welcome, Sam. Great to have you back. How was that? How was that?
That was something different. I was on the edge of my seat all game. I thought we dominated from the first whistle. I thought there were 2 goals. The first one you can probably avoid, and the second one's just a mistake. But apart from that, we were absolutely dominant. And at half time, I thought we were going to win 3-2, and that's just the case.
We'll fix that intro in post, Ted. Just made it up on the fly. But gentlemen, what a game we have just witnessed. Sean, you were a big proponent of saying we're not dead and buried, and you were spot on that we were still in it, and we were the better team, even though we were 2-0 down.
We were creating so many chances in the first half, and I mean, it was 2 of our own errors, our own mistakes that caused the 2 goals. But apart from that, Reading looked static. To say they've got probably the best, if not one of the best, creative midfielders in the country at the moment in terms of the Football League, and we've nullified him tonight, kept him quiet in John Swift, and our intensity and our press, the link-up playing in around the edge of the box. That's why I think this formation works well at the moment when we've not got Lavery available, just because it gives you that extra option in sort of in and around the area, and you saw that today. I mean, even in the first half, it was just that final touch and final bit of quality that we were missing, and obviously we got that in the second half.
So let's get a quick look at the match day 11. Connor, Sean's mentioned there the formation that we've been playing. So the team was Grimshaw, Gabriel, Ekpiteta, Keogh, Husband, Wintle, Dougal, Mitchell, Carey, Anderson, and Jerry Yates. How do you think Blackpool? What was the mindset for them to set up and go ahead and win this game? And what was your general thoughts on the team that he's picked there?
I think it was a team that was very much, we want to attack Reading, we want to dominate the game. And it's a big bet that paid off. You know, the problem with playing a 4-4-2 is you're very, very defensively solid, but you're so reliant on sometimes your wing play to make stuff happen. And if one striker's out of form, you can lose any kind of momentum. I felt like his lineup today, playing the 4-2-3-1 with Kerry kind of playing as a shadow striker, attacking midfielder, inspired. You know, we were so intricate around the box. You know, a combination play was so much better than I've seen in a long, long time. And then whenever we went out the ball, you know, Kerry would just kind of step up, become a second striker out of possession, and would play that 4-4-2 that we know so well defensively. You know, Grimshaw only had to make 3 saves the entire match, you know, 2 of which he didn't because they were very, very good chances that Reading got, and 1 very, very strong save he did make. He wasn't hugely busy. So I think it's a formation that's paid off massively, and I can't wait for us to kind of see it again. That big kind of ace in the hole of Sonny Carey, absolutely bring him in again.
Ace in the hole, Tim. That's a great description of Sonny Carey. I'm sure we all agree that he's had a great debut.
I think you've also got to look at where he's come from, and the fact that we managed to, you know, and it's not just him, is it as well? It's also to a certain degree with Lavery and also we're seeing Dale. You know, we seem to be selecting players who can play the way that we want to play football, and they're all adding value to the team, aren't they? And you know, particularly Carey, to come from non-league and to put a performance like that in today against, to be fair, you know, and listen, I think we made them look very bang average, but this is a good Reading team. We're on form, and we never get a result at Reading ever.
1980, you said in the drink along, didn't you?
In effectively my 40 years of watching Blackpool, I've been to Elm Park and and the Majeski, whatever they call it these days. I've never seen us win so much as a
Car Leasing Stadium. They call it these days.
Whatever. But the reality is that this team didn't. If they hadn't won today, it'd have been a travesty. It really would have been a travesty.
Yeah.
And it's so great that we've actually, and it's great for Jerry as well because Jerry's had a little bit like he had last season, a slow start to the season. He's clearly a confidence player, and when he's got his goal, on Saturday, he looks a different player today. He looks a different player, and it's brilliant that he's looking like Jerry of last season.
4 in 3 he's got now, I think, Jerry. Something like that. I was expecting one of our resident statos to kind of pop up there.
It's 4 in 2 and a bit. Well, 2 in most of the game because he came on, didn't he, against Blackburn after however it was when Kerry went off. That it's not even 4 in 3 is the point.
Yeah, even better. Right, Mitch. So the game's got underway. We've had a reasonable start. We've looked fairly comfortable, and 11 minutes in, Scott Dan's just jumped up, kind of unopposed, free header, and the softest of goals we've been kind of guilty of conceding this season.
Yeah, it was, and I said in the stream a few times that it just seemed like a weird goal. It just kind of it didn't even seem to be. Well, you've said it there. It was kind of unopposed, and I just wondered if it was kind of defensive confusion, whether it's because Maxwell's not in goals and the usual things aren't being shouted, or that without him, different players are trying to take over the leadership, and there's 3 people shouting different things at people. I don't know. It was just such a strange goal that it's really rare that you see Marvin just seemingly asleep, and it was just weird, wasn't it? We commented at the time like Gabriel seemed to be jumping for a ball where the ball wasn't, and then Marvin wasn't jumping where the ball was, and Dan just jumped and nodded it in, and it was an odd goal, and it was totally against the run of play. It was one of those really frustrating ones where you just think, because we played so well, and then you just think, here we go, because it comes totally against the run of play.
Yeah, so a very disappointing moment, but Sam, it's got even worse. And another 10 minutes into the game, we've just gone down the other end, nearly scored. Jordan Gabriel with that drive, keeper saved it, and Jerry's hit the rebound straight to the keeper. And then 2 minutes later, they've gone down the other end, taking the lead through, double the lead through Tom Dele Bishiri. And another soft goal and another error from Pateta, kind of messing about with it, playing across his own box when he should be just clearing it, really.
Yeah, completely agree. Again, I think the way he's received the ball wasn't great. I think if his first touch is better, he's able to get that down the wing, but it's one of those mistakes. It's wet. He's taken a heavy touch, probably not seeing the attacker on his blind side. He's nicked it, and they've gone and scored. But that's something that a player who's not played at this level has to learn. And we've got to give credit for Miles for what he's done in the last 2 years, because he's been superb, having not played at this level before. It's one of those things, but he didn't shy away from doing that after the mistake, which for me shows his bravery and courage. So, yes, it was a mistake and an easy goal for Reading, but for me, it's how Miles went after that mistake. He proved himself and was superb throughout the rest of the game.
So, gentlemen, the first penalty shout we've had that many penalty shouts. The first one came on 34 minutes. It was 30 minutes. Mitchell brought down in the box. Who wants to come in on this one? How was this of our penalty shouts? Was this the most kind of?
Was that the first one, or was it the third?
That was the third one.
Was the handball not the first? Yeah, the handball was the first one.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit soft.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think the
handball. Then it was Jerry in the box that he got booked for, and then Mitchell was the third one where he got booked for it.
Yeah.
And then the fourth shout was the actual penalty.
Not according to Blackpool FC Twitter feed.
Yeah, well, what do they know?
30,
were they half
seconds.
Yeah. Were they half watching the game whilst drinking beer? No, I don't think they were.
But there was that many penalty shootouts, and as I said on the drink along, any kind of soft shout, and he's going to give it, and he did. I think that the actual penalty itself. But we'll come
that was
on to
the worst of
later
the lot.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. If you remember, I said if there's any other half penalty now, he's going to give it, just through the progression through not giving us 3 in a row, and he's got to give any kind of half soft penalty, and he's done that. But the only the other main incident in the first half for me was when Keshi's gone through on goal and fluffed his line.
He didn't have a great game today, Keshi, did he? I mean, I think he's set an unbelievably high bar for himself with the way that he's played since he came back from his injury. And I think probably, if we look back at today's game, it's probably one of his weakest. Now, the conundrum is: do you stick with your tried and tested on Saturday, or do you mix it up a bit? And I think that's going to be a big decision for Critchley, because Keshi was not quite at the races today. And listen, we've eulogised about his performances all season, so I think we can give balance and say that today wasn't a great one for him, and I think we improved when he went off. So he just. I think every player has those games where it doesn't quite happen for them anyway, doesn't he? And I think most certainly he missed Saturday for a family reason. I don't know what the reason for his family misses. Whether whatever it was is still affecting him in some way, I don't know. But he definitely wasn't right today. Yeah. Definitely not.
As we were corrected rightly in the chat, it was Jerry Yates, wasn't it? The first penalty, although the air quotes penalty. We had a couple of duff free kicks in the first half, quite disappointing. Was it Anderson and it to Rowe Yates and Mitchell?
Mitchell had that sort of Ronaldo effort that he's like stunned about 10 yards wide.
So, Sean, as we've gone in 2-0 at half time, what was your mindset?
I thought we played really well. I thought it was creatively probably one of our best performances of the season. It was just, as we say, 2 mistakes. If you've got that extra bit of quality in the final third, in terms of it was decision making in the final third, really, wasn't it? That final ball when we got through on goal, but we were creating so often and so many really good opportunities that if we'd have kept up the same trend in the second half, then it was inevitable that we were going to get back into the game, because it's just unsustainable to be that unfortunate in front of goal. And obviously, as the pens started going in the second half, then we started to think maybe it was just going to be one of those days. But at half time, I was still relatively confident, if not just extremely frustrated, that we just didn't have that player that was going to put the chances away.
Anyone else confident that we were going to come back and win this game at half time?
The XGs must have been in our favour by this point, wasn't they, Sean?
It was, to be fair, I think it was like 0.6 to 0.2 or something like that. Connor said in the first half. I don't know if they'll revise them, because I feel like Jerry's was perhaps a better chance, and it's obviously Keshi's has been blocked by a man, so it's not hit the target. So again, that's one off. So
I thought
Rise XG. They have somebody that goes through old games and changes XG.
At the end of the game, they'll go back through and just double check ones that they might flag up initially.
Oh.
Tim, when you
really has produced not the end times, hasn't it? Really, Jesus.
When you said the XGs, then Tim, I thought you were like referring to Sean and Connor as a collective.
It could be like a boy band, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you look at the stats, actually, but the traditional stats that I look at, which is possession, shots on target, and all that stuff, which is old school. Actually, I was quite surprised how level the possession was in the first half, because I always felt that we had probably 60% possession against their 40%, but it was apparently a lot closer. But obviously, I think we probably had possession in their attacking half a lot more, which is probably what resonates a bit more than probably just playing it across the back. But it's just flagged up on here now. We were pushing near a 60 by the end, and we had 29 chances against their 5, I think.
Connor said there was big chances by Opta. I think you said it was 10, didn't you?
Yeah.
At one point during the game. So that just shows.
I mean, that's an incredible statistic, isn't it, as regards the number of chances we've created to theirs. And it's very difficult for anybody to argue that we didn't deserve the result based on that type of dominance, because that's what it was. Particularly the second half reminded me I think Sam said it, to be fair, as well. It reminded me of the second half at the City Ground in 2010, where we just were all over the opposition, in that case, Forest. And I'm actually sort of like, I'm going to have to watch that second half again. It was that good.
I think it's up there with first half against Cardiff in the playoff final as well. Just how we dominated, won every second. If you watch the game back, the amount of second balls we won, if they hoofed it, challenge, we always won that second ball. We just kept recycling it and we never gave up. And Reading didn't know what to do. I think just a Critchley masterclass, if you say.
So we've regrouped at half time. We've come out early, and 2 minutes into the first half, Dan Grimshaw's kept us in the game through George Puscas's Connor, great grandson. I think grandson we've possibly established. Grandson of the great Gas.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true as well?
Grimshaw's. Yeah. George Puskas. If he's put that chance in, the game's over, isn't it?
We're not talking about. He's not related to the Tangerine Duck. He's related to the Hungarian international who took the piss out of England in 1953. Is that the one?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of a duck-related joke. Right, Connor, we might let you speak now.
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a testament to our defending that Reading didn't have any chances. We didn't give them apart from this one. And, Maxwell does
pivotal moment in the game then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Maxwell does... Sorry, not Maxwell. It was a Maxwell-esque save, but Grimshaw does a really amazing job just keeping us in it. Like, if that goes in, heads drop, you're down, it probably ends 3-0. That was as an important moment as Owen Dale's substitution, or any of the goals.
So the first of another penalty claim was when we got a corner from the handball when their players kind of batted it away, and again that was a strong appeal for a penalty and could have been given.
I thought it was soft.
I thought that was no.
It's on by his side, isn't it?
I'd be fuming if that was given against us. That's not a pen for me. No.
Yeah.
Okay. That's me told.
We've got too many.
I felt like John, though, instinctively. I thought his hand sort of flicked out.
Yeah, it was his motion. Yeah, he kind of like.
It would do if the ball's hit his hand, though. I think it's hit his hand by his side.
If you're giving that, you're giving the one from us later in the second half.
All right, I'll let you off. But anyway, the Mitchell one was on 59 minutes.
That's a stone.
That was the stone wall.
Yeah, that was nailed on. It was nailed on because you could see physically that you couldn't dive like that. If you tried to dive like that, you couldn't do it because it was the way he pivoted in the air because his legs had been taken. You can't throw your leg backward like that. You end up swan diving. It was, you could see it physically with the naked eye without the replay that he'd been taken. It was a penalty.
So we've obviously missed talking about the Jerry one. I mean, the Jerry one was similar, Mitch, I'd say. The fact that he's gone down at such a weird angle and Winsel's reaction.
Camera angle. His crap camera angle doesn't help. But I think I trusted Jerry's reaction because I don't think, like I said at the time, I don't think you'd be as brazen as that if you have actually dived. Be so unrepentant.
You're sheepish, aren't you?
Exactly, and you just the whole reaction of the team and Jerry as well. I don't know. I wouldn't have given it at the time from that angle personally if I was a referee, but and even after 2 or 3 TV angles, I'm kind of the same. It's just not the angle isn't there to be able to tell. So I'm not 100% sure that was a penalty personally.
But we've had 3 turned down at this stage, and as I said previously on the drink along, that any half chance for a penalty and he's going to give it. So I was reasonably confident that we were going to get another penalty. Don't want to be a told you so kind of guy. But anyway, another pivotal moment on the game. 64 minutes, Kesh Anderson replaced for Owen Dale. Sean, you were calling for this, weren't you? And what an introduction and what a debut from the young man.
Yeah, I just think at the time I preferred him to Bowler to come on just because we kind of know what Bowler can bring in the final third. And I just think from watching Dale at Crewe, I think he has a little bit more quality on the final ball. And I just thought, why not go for the guy that we haven't seen yet and see if he can spark something in the final third than a guy that's kind of done a similar thing in the final third where we get to the final ball and he makes the wrong decision or what have you. I just thought percentages-wise, Dale will probably be the better shout. And I mean, wow. Like I didn't expect that. That was superb. I mean, he's not kicked a ball for like 4 months professionally. He's never played at this level before. And like Mitch said, I said he got up to speed with the game. So, well, Mitch went, well, he's ran the speed because our tempo had dropped for 5 or 10 minutes before that. He's come back in. He's come into the side and completely picked us up again when it looked like we kind of just, our race was run because of the penalty shouts. His quality on the ball, his link-up play straight away, his movement, everything about him was immense today. And if he keeps that up and he goes on Saturday and does the exact same thing again, what a signing that is.
Mm.
Don't you think, Sean?
5 minutes in, Tim.
Oh, sorry,
Go on.
sorry, John. I was just going to say, we were talking about this before him and Bowler came on, weren't we? And we seem to be getting the other side of their midfield and attacking that back four, but maybe not with the incision that we felt that we needed. And I mean, it was incredible to watch. And I think, listen, I was not quite with him, just simply because I hadn't seen him. I thought it was too much of an unknown quantity compared with Bowler, but I think you called it right. I think that's one of the best 30-minute debuts you're ever going to see in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
It was the variety of it was the variety of what he did as well, because he scored a goal, he set up a goal, his little short interlinking play was lovely, his movement was nice. It wasn't just sometimes you get a player that comes on and they belt one in the top corner and everyone goes, oh my god, what a debut, that's amazing, but really they've only done one thing where you could look and say that he showed he had many strings to his bow. You know, he provided, yeah, I've already said it, haven't I? But yeah, I think that was what was so impressive about it.
The goal, Tim, I've done a Smith unbelievably for it. Went down to get a beer and I could sort of hear it on the speakers. I was running up, but this one close to your heart, your brother's heart. The commentator throughout the game was saying you've got to hit the target. He was saying it multiple times, and he was bang on. Because Dale, all he's done really on this chance, he's concentrated on hitting the target, drilled it into the ground, and he's let the ball just do the work and
it has taken a deflection, but he's shown intent, isn't it? And when you show intent and you hit a ball with power towards a goal, it's all, you know, when it takes a deflection, it doesn't take away from the fact that you're, you know, the positive attitude and thought process behind what he's doing, and you know, to score so quickly after coming on, you know, what it's going to do for his confidence. All of a sudden, he's going to think, I now know I can play at this level, and I think that you saw that then in the rest of his game for the remaining 25 minutes or so that he was on, in that he all of a sudden had confidence in his ability to actually make a positive contribution. Well, I'm sure he, like the rest of us, would be thinking, can I do it at this level? I've not played the Championship before. I've played in League One. I don't know them. I don't know the guy. He may be the ultimate he may have the ultimate confidence. But I think most players have always got that. Can I do it? He now knows he can, and that's fantastic for us and fantastic for him.
I was going to say, I think he actually has an element of arrogance about him. I think he is a really confident player. I mean, he handed in the transfer request at Crewe. He believed that he was ready for a move to the Championship, even though he'd only played really sustainably over a 4 or 5 month period. He's one of those characters. He's a confident guy, and I just think having those sort of players that can back it up and have that little bit of swagger about them does so much for the rest of the team around them as well.
Does he start against Preston?
Yeah.
100%.
No.
I'm a no.
He's off the bench, I think. He's a 30-minute off the bench against Preston.
I wonder if Keshi's he perhaps is needing a bit of like a time on the bench for how consistently he's played recently. Perhaps having him on as someone to come on and dictate the game with 30 minutes ago is a better option, and then have that 3 that ended the game as the attacking midfield 3.
I'm playing him.
I don't see how you can't. I mean, I'm loath to put, to put too much pressure on him as the new world beater, but I don't see how you can see that and then not start him. Unless, of course, we go back to 2 up front with Gary Medine. No, I'm joking. So I'll tell
you something. If we do start with the attacking form, I'm excluding Medine for this, but the attacking formation we had for the last 30 minutes, Preston have got some serious defending to do against that lot, haven't they? They really have. Because I tell you what a handful, and and they'll go at any team for the full 90 minutes. Bowler can be hit and miss, but I thought he was incredible as well when he came on. I thought he did exactly. I was, for those who weren't in the drink along, I was championing Bowler to come on. To be fair, Sean was championing Dale, but I think they both made such a great contribution. Yeah. It was like you're almost like your ideal substitutions, weren't they?
I think as well, we can't underestimate the fact that as much as the attacking front four was so good at winning the ball back out the pitch, when Reading did play the ball through that line, our 2 centre mids were superb at sweeping up, always concentrating and just keeping that pressure on all the time. That last 20 minutes or so, we're just relentlessly recycling possession in their own half. We were in their half, and the centre midfielders are just recycling the ball as if it's our centre halves at the back. It was unbelievable.
Do you know I didn't notice tonight, but I need to probably watch it back to see how effective he was Dougal.
I was just about to say that, Tim.
I don't remember him doing anything.
He obviously did, though. He obviously did, didn't he? He did the dirty stuff, I think.
Yeah. He did the breaking up, the passing it so players could do stuff. But I need to watch it back to see, probably because I was on the drink along. I'm sat slightly onto the TV because you've got your headphones on. You're not listening to the commentary, so you are a little bit detached from the game. I tend to find, so I probably need to watch it back just to see, because him and Winkle between them they just dominated the central midfield the whole that second half.
This is definitely a game you want to watch back. It's one of the ones you do want to get into Tangerine TV and watch the whole game back again.
Yeah.
To fully appreciate
what really works about that formation is when we were at Forest, it was really frustrating because Winkle and Dougal and Stewart, when he was on, had a kind of pressure to do a job that they're not really built for, in the sense that you felt like they should be creating something. Whereas in this formation, they just won the ball back. And I think whoever said it before, they just won the ball back, moved it on to a more creative player, and they did something. And that's exactly the strength of those 2 players, And when you were at Forest, Tim, there's just nothing happened for 40 minutes. And you kind of getting frustrated with players like Kevin Stewart because he's not creating. Well, that's not what he's there for. That's not what he's going to do. And that's why this formation works so well, because the Stewarts, the Dougals, the Winkle type player can do the simple thing and then give it to Dale or Bowler, whoever. And it was brilliant.
Okay, let's move on to the equaliser, Jerry's equaliser. Dale, 5 minutes after putting us back into the game, he's put a sublime cross, Connor, right onto Jerry's head. You say putting it on a sixpence, but he's put it on his head. But there's still a fair bit for Jerry to do.
Completely, it's one of those things where he's right-footed, he's on the left wing, he cuts inside, and he just curls this ball in using his right foot. That is, as you say, sublime. And I think we need to give, we've given a lot of credit to Owen Dale so far. We need to give a lot of credit to Jerry. Reading were pushing up. They were trying to launch the offside trap. And Jerry timed it absolutely right so that he was there. The ball came to him while he was absolutely alone. He wasn't caught offside, and he was just able to curl it away. It was perfect. It was a proper striker's goal in that sense, timing the movement from the offside trap absolutely brilliantly.
And what he's done well is go back across goal to score. Most probably attackers go to that near post and the keeper saves it 9 times out of 10. What he's done well is where the ball's come, put it back across there. The keeper's wrong-footed. You could see his reaction. He wanted to go for it, but he knew his footwork was wrong. So, like Connor just said there, all round fantastic goal, and that just set us up going for that winner.
If you right to the chat, gents, Amax just said we were all gobsmacked. Yates wasn't offside. Tim, it did looked offside, didn't it? From just you expect the flag to go up when there's a player in that much space unmarked, and
I mean, obviously, I was lagging behind you guys, so obviously by the time it came across, I actually knew the ball hit the back of the net because of your inane celebrations, and. So I didn't actually think about it from that.
What do you expect us to do? Just give it a warm round of applause?
Actually, somebody came on here and said, I've never seen such muted celebrations ever, but he must have been looking at me because I was 90 seconds behind. But no, what I mean is, obviously, I knew the goal had gone in, so I probably didn't focus on that as much as I might otherwise have done. But I take the point. He was in so much space and seemingly in front of the defence that you start, you would think he might have been, but obviously I think no doubt when we look at the timing of the ball, because that referee, if there's any chance to give the offside or to give anything against us, he would have done. And their commentators were saying the referees had a poor game. To be fair, the co-commentator did have the good grace to say, yeah, but we've benefited from most of that. Because undoubtedly they had done. But yeah, I think, again, repeating what I've said in the drink along, but I think it's great that Jerry's got his mojo back and, he's starting to get a few goals. I think he was perhaps not feeling the love when he was sat on the bench, was he? And now he's back and he's clearly going to play a pivotal part, I think, on Saturday. And I, for one, just hope he can smash one in at the north end.
That game is made for Jerry Yates on Saturday. What a time for him to be coming into this form.
Yeah.
But Owen Dale, he's gone on another mazy run. What was it, 5 minutes after this? And maybe selfishly, Sam, he's crossed it when he perhaps should have shot. But what an introduction! What a debut! Unbelievable.
Very, very good, and that's what you want your subs to do. I think, along with my dad, I was saying you need to bring Bowler on. I didn't realise Dale was on the bench, to be fair. I wasn't that clued up till kick-off. But when you've got players that can make an impact like that and can even add more to Blackpool's attacking play, it just shows what strength and depth that we've got, especially in those attacking areas. And I still don't think he should start on Saturday. I think he probably needs just more minutes in his legs. But that chance, it's a difficult one because I think he's quite close to the byline if it's the one I'm thinking of. And it's one of those, but you've got to give him credit. He's one of those players for me, like Bowler, who you can't get on the back too much of. He needs that confidence and fans to be on his side because you want these players to thrive and showcase what they can do. But no, a great performance from Dale, and hopefully there's more to come throughout the season.
But, gents, 5 minutes from the end. The moment of the game. Was it Carey driving, running to the box? Carey. And he's just been, Mitch, he's just been clipped. The lesser of the 4 penalty appeals.
Yeah, but he did his best to stay up. He was so determined, but the contact was just so hard he couldn't help it. He's a real trooper.
When you said before about you can tell from a player's reaction, I can't remember who. It might have been Gabriel who came over to him, and it was just almost that little sort of good lad, that knowing little hug, well played lad, and. It was definitely I think the least, certainly less than the one on Yates, which I don't think he dived. I mean, I disagree with the comment before. I don't think he did dive. It was the Mitchell one was 10 times more a penalty, but in the end, it was natural justice, wasn't it? It was justice. So they can't complain that they've got this lucky penalty because they've been lucky not to have 2 before.
Anyone else get any strong views on the penalty?
No, it was just like you say. We should have had one earlier, so it was natural that we should eventually get some luck in the game. I think we just had to go. We knew I feel like even if we hadn't have got that penalty, we'd have found another way to win that game. We were that good. I just would have trusted that we would have gone on and won that game at some point.
It's a perfect illustration of why you don't need VAR, why it's shit and you don't need it, because the ref can always just give one later if he realises he's got it wrong, and that's fine.
2 wrongs do indeed make a right.
Well, quite. 2 wrongs make one right.
Who wants to come in on the penalty itself? Tim,
Well, I just want to say, John, when you said Jerry Hayes always scores these, we don't need to worry. I thought, John, shut up. Don't say that. Never say that.
I think honestly think the F word thrown in there as well, mightn't there, Mick?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
As soon as I said that, I thought,
Jesus, John.
Tim, I think we've had this conversation, haven't we? That we're always confident when Jerry steps up.
Listen, he's going to miss one. He's going to miss one at some point, isn't he? And I think he might have missed one going back in a game. But I have the utmost. Every time Blackpool have a penalty, I've always felt that we weren't going to score it. And he's the first player since Charlie Adam probably, who I actually feel is going to score a penalty if we get it. And it's great to have that feeling because that, it's just the fact you've got confidence in the player. I think he's got confidence in his ability, and I think it transposes itself onto us. Where other players come up and take a penalty, they look a bit like, "Ooh, I don't really want this, and I don't really know when I'm going to score." He thinks he's going to score, and I think that's important.
It wasn't a Panenka though. That would have been class. I
think they had a heart attack if he'd done a Panenka.
So he did do an ode to Armand celebration, didn't he, for his equaliser? So at least Armand's forever in our hearts at Reading away.
Armand scored a great goal at Reading.
He did, and then he did the Panenka, didn't he? He hit the bar, didn't he?
Did you see Messi did a Panenka yesterday, didn't he, for PSG? But yeah, you've got to be brave to do it, haven't you?
XG, by the way, we got 2.53 in the end to Reading's 1.36, according to Infogol. And just comparing that to the creativity of Preston looking ahead to the weekend, they created 0.69 XG and scored 2 goals. So it shows that we're creating a lot of chances, whereas Preston are kind of quite static in their creative play. And today has just been one of them games where they've had a couple of decent chances, they've scored them.
How many games you get away from home where you have 29 chances?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
To me, it seems to be at least double what you'd expect. I don't know how that fits in with the statos in the room, but I wouldn't expect to go away from home in all seriousness and have 29 chances. Now, some of them will be half chances, won't they? But
ask the XGs.
Yeah. So how does that transcribe
into this season? Compared to this season, even at home, we've not created anything close to that. That's a complete outlier this season for us so far. And I think, like I say, it's down to having that extra attacking midfielder in there just to be the extra link man when we need them to thread the ball through the lines.
It's an incredible. I cannot wait to watch that game. I mean, obviously, I generally have a bit of lunch between 1 and 2. My lunch hour tomorrow is watching the second half of that game because I genuinely can't wait to watch it. It was that exciting.
And looking ahead to Saturday now, for me personally, I would drop Keshi now. I would play the front 4 that really blitzed that second half. I would play Dale, Bowler, Carey, and Yates, and we should start with that same intensity because Preston have been, this season, they've been slow starters. They're quite static in possession. It takes them a while to get into games. They're kind of quite one-dimensional in their play, getting it through to Reece. And I just think we can really blow them away in that first half if we play with that intensity. So why wouldn't you just throw all your attacking bodies in there at the earliest part of the game?
I agree. I'd do the same. What was that banging?
There's all sorts of noises going on tonight.
I'm trying to isolate. Who's creating all this noise?
I've seen you keep turning everything off to try and isolate. I'm going for Connor.
probably is. It's probably got the wrong type of mic.
Yes, that's right, Connor. He's got a condenser mic, picks up all sorts of shite. Anyway, right, so 3-2. What a game, boys. What a game. And I'm glad we all came on here to do this. But before we go, let's just do a player ratings. I think it's well worth doing. So let's start with Dan Grimshaw. Let's go from left to right. Mitch, over to you. Dan Grimshaw. He's kept us in the game in the second half. First 3 minutes. That goes in. Game over. Is he gone to sleep? He did say his internet was being a knobhead, so let's go over to you, Sean.
For Grimshaw, yeah.
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do. I thought he was probably as much to blame as Marv for that first goal, personally, because you could see that Ajaria was pressing Marv and he probably shouldn't have played that ball. But I think with the amount of possession he had, he was bound to have a slack pass at some point. And I just think he was quite decent on the ball after that, to be honest. And as you say, the vital save he made and the fact that he's hardly played any professional football in his career and he's stepped up to the plate when we've needed him most. And he's kept us in the game at that vital stage of the second half. So I'd give him an 8. So we're giving like 15s and 18s today. So it's like anything goes at this point.
Can't go higher than 10. You'll have to utilise the FPRS system, which Tim, are you going to utilise your own international standard on Jordan Gabriel?
Yeah, solid game, I think. Don't think he was exceptional. I've seen him play better. 8+.
Fielding Junior, you can have Big Marv.
I think you've got to give him between a 7 and 8. I know he's made a mistake for the second goal, but like I said before, for him to come out that and still try and play out from the back and stuff, maybe being harsh on a 7.
I'd give him a 7.
Yeah, I think it would be an 8, but I'm going to consider that mistake in the first half. But like I said, I'm going to give him the credit because I thought he still tried to play that way and take us forward in the second half, and he drove into their third, which was key. So 7 for me.
Tricky Dicky, Sean. Tricky Dicky.
Are you giving me again? Has everyone gone round one?
Mitch, yeah.
All right.
Connor, have you done one?
No, but I assume you were saving James' husband for me, but I'll do Keogh.
Yeah, I switched the order. There you go.
Keogh had one of those games where I didn't really notice he was there a lot of the time. I think of one vital clearance he made, and that's about it. And I'm kind of torn between whether an anonymous game for a defender is good or not. I feel like it probably is. You probably don't want to be, seeing good defenders all the time. And on that basis, I reckon he probably deserves a 7, but not a lot more than that.
Back in the side, Sean, Jimmy Husband, brilliant last-ditch tackle, saved a goal in the dying embers of the game.
Yeah, like Mitch was saying, his link-up play initially is very good. His delivery out wide leaves a lot to be desired, really, at times. But I think, obviously, when Dale came on, he had that player that he could just transition the ball forward to anyway. So he defensively was sound. He always steps onto the ball. I mean, I remember I think it was about the 89th minute, he just drove through central midfield after beating a press and bringing the ball forward. And I think that speaks volumes of him as a character as well. So I'd give him an 8+.
Ryan Wintle, Tim.
I think, as we touched upon earlier, and whilst we're going to have to look back at it, I think the midfield 2 for Blackpool dictated a lot of what went on by quietly going about their business and making sure that we kept possession and that we fed the players who we needed to feed. I think Wintle was, as much as Dougal, instrumental in that. So I'm actually going to go a 9. I think the midfield 2, when we look back, will have played a lot better than we think they've done. And I'm going to recognise that.
I was just going to say with that, sorry, they're not playing against mugs either. John Swift is destined for the Premier League in the next 6 to 12 months. Danny Drinkwater has played at the highest level. We've come up, we've got promoted. from League One. Ryan Wintel's playing his first season in League One. Kenny Dougal, I think, played a bit in the Championship with Barnsley, but they've just gone and dominated a really, really strong Championship midfield. And if we can do that week in, week out, playing that way, no one knows how far we can go in this division now.
Yeah, it's a great shout. He was bigged up a lot on Quest on the AFL. So yeah. Kenny Dougal, Sam.
I think my dad's already given his score on the same one. I think it's got to be 9 again. Just those two were instrumental. If you watch back that second half, how many times they won the second ball, played it short at wide to Husband or Gabriel, or even went through the middle to Carey or Yates. To me, both of those were instrumental in our win tonight.
What's your score?
9, sorry. I thought I said it there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Right, Demi Mitchell. My brain can't operate all these things and listen at the same time. Demi Mitchell, Connor. It's a funny one. This he didn't show us much in the previous game, did he?
Yeah, somebody in the drink along said the word myopic, which I thought was quite a good word to describe him. You know, he showed flashes of being a little bit tricky, but never really caused much danger apart from when, you know, he ran into a Reading player ran into him, and there was that penalty shout. Free kicks weren't great. You know, he combined pretty well, I think, with Jordan Gabriel on the right. I think for a partnership that hasn't really played a lot of game time, they combined really, really well. But I certainly think we've seen better performances from Dembélé in the past. So I think I would go with a 7- for this one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's pretty fair. Right, Sean, I frantically had to type this player in because he didn't have his own banner. But what a first! Is it his first team debut from starting?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He might have played in a cup or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, he played. I think he played in the Carabao, didn't he? But in the league, yeah. For me, 10. He was immaculate on the ball. I think the question for me was, how would he contribute to the system as a whole off the ball as well, in particular? Like me and Mitch were discussing on the drink along, it's you can have 100 of these players that are technically proficient at a lower level, but then when they come up, are they able to do the other side of the game? And he forced so many high turnovers in the game. His link-up play was superb. His movement was good. He was a step ahead of everyone else on the pitch, pretty much. And to come in and do that, when realistically he would not have been a name anyone would have mentioned for Saturday, and he's come in and he's putting a performance like that is superb, and it really shows the strength in depth we have now in the squad. So a 10 for me. I thought he was absolutely immense.
Kesh Anderson, Tim, got to be looking over his shoulder and his place against the Nobbers now after some of the performances.
Yeah, that for me, that's his most ineffective performance since. And he's had some great ones, I hasten to add, since he came back from injury for me. I thought he looked off the pace. I have a funny feeling whatever caused his absence on Saturday probably was still in his mind. And maybe he should have had another game out. So it's a 6 for me.
Yeah, I think he wasn't himself, was he, in this game?
No, so, listen. I love the guy, you know, and he's... But I think we've got to be real with our scorings, and that's not the Keshi Anderson that we normally see in a game.
Finally, Sam, Jerry Yates, what can you say about this man? Down and out at the beginning of the season, but just like the season just gone, he's really motoring now, and then he's coming into form at a great time.
Yeah, his goals speak for himself, but as we all know, his work rate off the ball is just as good as any striker, I think, in this division. It was always going to be a matter of time when he got that first goal, like he did last year, and then goes on a run. For me, for his all-round performance, you've got to give him, I think, a solid 9. I don't think it's as good as Carey's performance, but he's so important in the way we play. And he will be frustrated that Lavery's come in and come off the mark the way he has done, but Yates, you just know you're going to get an 8 or 9 out of 10 most games, and tonight he's performed got those 2 goals and was thoroughly deserved. So hopefully that takes it into the game of the weekend, because as you said before, John, it's built for him, these derby games.
Yeah.
He'll love the crowd. He'll love the fans getting on his back. He's that, like Ronaldo, he loves when the fans are on his back and he goes and proves people wrong. And Yates has done that tonight. So it's a 9 from me tonight.
We can't have any promo Ronaldo chat on this podcast. That's disgraceful. Get him off.
And John,
Let me off.
It will be unconscionable not to score the 2 substitutions.
Yeah, fair point, Tim. Fair point. So substitution 1 again. He hasn't even got his own banner, Owen Dale. So who wants to do Owen Dale?
Give him me.
Go on, Sean. You were picking him up. So yeah, go on.
He's just that extra bit of quality that you need. He's that quality on the ball in those areas. It's all well and good getting into those areas, but if you're not going to do anything with it, it's not really worth doing. And he's proven there straight away. Impact, like I said before, keep repeating myself, but 4 months out of the game through injury to come back in, do that, pick us back up when we looked really frustrated. Because realistically, if another 5-10 minutes had gone and we'd missed a couple more chances, we'd have got so frustrated in that game because of how well we played. And he came in, and when we needed him most, he turned up. And for me, he's nailed on. I can't see how you can't start a player as good as that on the ball on Saturday when you can come up against such a team that's so static at the back. So for me, it's a 10. And if he plays like that every week, we'll have him for very long.
The Nobbers aren't going to know what's hit them, Tim, are they? They're not going to know what's hit them.
No, I think we've got an opportunity on. So, and to be honest, I did originally say I wouldn't start him on Saturday, but the more you think about it, and the more you think about his impact,
flying under the radar as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and they won't know what's coming at them, and equally, and I'll deal with Bowler if you don't mind. I thought, I was championing Bowler coming on, and because I could see that space between their midfield and their defence, and how we were exploiting it, even when we didn't have those really the players are really on form. We were doing it with Mitchell and we were doing it with Keshi with no end products. And I think the 2 substitutions probably brought that end product on. I don't think Bowler had as much an impact, obviously, as Dale did, but I still think it was an important one. And I think he's just reinforced his value to the team. So I'm not going to give him as high a score as Shaw, but I would give him a solid 9. I think for his 30 minutes or so, I thought he helped take us to that next level. And I'm not. There's a lot of eulogies going on tonight, and a lot of positivity. But I do want to say, I thought they only looked about 300, 400 in there. But I thought the fans tonight who made that trip to Reading were A class. They were on top form. All you could hear all game was them. When we were 2-0 down, you could hear them. When we were trying to get back into the game, you could hear them. And at the end, you could hear them. And just want to say, well done, guys and girls.
Right, let's round off the subs with the Messiah.
Yeah.
I think we can do him. Do I need to name his name?
Where is Mitch when you need him?
No. His internet's effed up. Go on, Connor.
I mean, Gary Medine, I think you've got to give him a 10 just because he did exactly what he had to come on to do. He came on, he held he did lots of shithousery, won pointless corners, and salted the game away.
It was brilliant. Well, it was brilliant. He's brilliant at it, isn't he?
He didn't do a lot, kind of his all-round play. I think you could probably give him a 10, but he was asked to do a very, very specific hing, and he executed that hing to a level that is a 10.
Yeah.
He performed his role in the team, I think, as perfectly as anyone could, which was to waste time and be a cunt. And he did it. So fair play to him.
That's the first C-bomb since Young Nappers came on. If anyone remembers that.
That's actually one of the all-time highlights of the pod is Nappers dropping the C-bomb completely unexpectedly.
So funny.
Oh dear.
Right, rate the manager. We didn't do it last game, but we're definitely doing it this time. This show. Let's start with you, Sam. Manager rating. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
I think it's got to be a 10. I think his team was spot on from the start. The way we played, the way he didn't give up. At half time, he's probably just put his arm around the players and told them to keep going. Michael there, he says 11 out of 10 for Critchley. Probably not far off, to be fair. But for me, everything about his tactical awareness tonight, what he wanted from the players, what he wanted from his subs, was just first class, and you can't not give him a 10, I don't think.
No. Connor, over to you. Don't call him a
I mean, it's got to be a 10. Why wouldn't it be a 10? You know, it was any manager can come there and pick a safe team, or pick the team he's always been picked. And I think if he got this result with that team, I'd maybe give him an 8 or a 9. But it's the fact he went with a team I don't think any of us would have predicted, made a big call in terms of changing the formation, bringing kind of relatively unknown players like Sonny on, bringing relatively unknown players like Dale off the bench. And, you know, that's why he's paid the big bucks, because he's able to see those things and make those decisions. You know, and I think that's all the credit to him. He didn't win the expected or conventional way. He won, you know, this brilliant way that I think was the only way we would have won, and only he saw.
I think Sean, as Connor's alluding to there, he's stuck by his guns, Critchley. He stuck by his game plan and executed it.
I think with the you saw it the last 15 to 20 minutes at Forest, he changed the formation. He didn't quite have the personnel there. But if we remember, this has always been the system Critchley's wanted to play since he arrived at Blackpool. This has been the football he wanted the whole time. And now he's finally got the players at his disposal. He's able to do it. And we've created an abundance of chances. This is Critchley's game. And I was wanting us to change it, because I just thought that back to this where we've got one up top, a 4-2-3-1, because you just needed that extra midfield runner to be an extra body in there, to be a creative link man in the middle of the pitch and be able to overload a midfield. And you've seen tonight, that is exactly the football that Neil Critchley will play as much as he possibly can. And now that he's seen that we're capable of it against a very good side, I'm not as much as they were crap tonight, we made them crap. I'm not downplaying Reading at all today. They've been recently one of the best teams in the division. They've got some quality in that team, Premier League quality in that team, and we've dismantled them. And on another day, it could have been 5 or 6. It's a 10+. He's a fucking genius. The guy is Premier League quality. We are so lucky to have him as a manager, and to think we approached Carl Robinson and people like that before him. We've stumbled upon a quality manager, and he's the best manager we could have possibly asked for under this ownership.
Slight improvement on Simon Grayson. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, and I think and obviously, Sam, you saw Simon Grayson's team last night, but I think we talked about him taking chances tonight, and I think safe managers who play it safe, don't make the impression that managers like, listen, Holloway was the most maverick manager we've had in my lifetime, and it delivered 2 years the most exciting football you're ever going to see, if not 3. And I think Critchley's it didn't start like that. I think he was too conservative at the beginning, and I think he was playing almost, his teams were playing within themselves and with a naivety. And we're now seeing a tactical nous as to what to do and how to do it that's really showing where he's learnt his trade. And he's taken time to adapt to league football, and we're now seeing the fruits of that. I think Sean's right. I think he's now got the players at his disposal who can play the football he wanted to play, which he couldn't do previously, and he was trying to shoehorn players like Nottingham into a system that was never going to work. But now, yeah,
it's like those days. It seems like a world away, doesn't it? Since that was happening.
But you've seen him come to an informed team today. He's taken chances with Carey. He's taken chances with bringing players off the bench. and everyone has come off. And listen, it wasn't a perfect performance because of the slight defensive frailties, but from an attacking sense, it was almost the perfect performance. And for that, you've got to give him a 10.
Right, gents, we'll leave it there. But what an evening of football it's been, and what a stream! Over 3 hours of pure entertainment. So thanks ever so much for giving up your time, gents, for coming on. It's been
we go again tomorrow night, don't we?
Yeah, we are. We're doing another one tomorrow. So we've got me, Tim, one of the XG boys, and your pal Tim. What's his name?
Yeah, it's Tom Harrison. He's a local solicitor. He's a proud knobber. We've been having a bit of banter this week, backwards and forwards. He lives on the Far Coast, so he's I'm sure he won't admit it, but he's probably got some Tangerine sympathies there in there somewhere. But we'll have a bit of banter with him tomorrow night. I'm sure he'll give as good as he can get, and I'm sure it'll be quite entertaining.
Certainly will. So stay tuned, listeners, viewers, for that. We'll say good evening now. Just do like and subscribe to the video. Hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube. Be great to have you back for more tomorrow night. So on that note, I've just seen this picture on the Twitter feed. Blackpool. We'll see us out with it. How good does that look?
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Right, thanks, gents, and we'll speak to you tomorrow night on the preview show where we're previewing Blackpool versus Preston North End. Already to be said. Thanks for watching. Thanks for downloading. And up the pool. Come on, the pool.
Up the pool.
Up the pool.
Small town from the north.